wherever you're watching from. You can have a great experience if you try HAPPS.TV from a Chrome web browser. If you're on your phone, it's a little bit challenging until the data, unless you have super data, then you'll be all right. Anyway, welcome. Hello, how are you, Mr. Zayad? Mr. Salahullah. Barry McCoy, hello, sir. How are you and welcome? It is 12:17 at night, Monday morning or late Sunday night. Robert Van Buren, what's happening, sir? Keys Richardson from YouTube, hello and welcome. I'm just chilling at home. I was roaming around watching other broadcasters' feeds, and I'm not sure how clear mine is, but I was noticing some folks may need to upgrade the internet connection. It's a little fuzzy here and there. Stephen Booth, how is Haps playing up? Well, Stephen, today I don't know if I'm doing good or bad, but it seems all right. Stephen, Sylvie, what's happening? Karen, hello. Cup of Joe, welcome. What's up in London, Robert? Mof Kathami, hello. How are you, man? Exina or Asina, hi. How are you? Anyway, I'm just chilling out. I'm not sure if my broadcast is crisp or if it looks like Minecraft. I was trying to watch a couple other broadcasters, and they were having a few connection issues, looking kind of Minecraft. I actually seem okay. Best sound and picture you've seen. Yeah, I think you need to be connected on your laptop with an Ethernet cable. Sophia, nice and clear. Okay. I can hear you perfectly on Haps. Thank you. Linda, what's up? Sugar drop, don't stop. Good to see you. Yeah, I seen you around a few places. You were roaming around, Linda. Corey, hello, and how are you? Show in London today. Snow in London. Oh, wow. Andy Baxter, what's happening in Vancouver? Good looking good for you, Joe. Karen, looks good to you. Fantastic. Randy, it seemed to me a fan is working mean with a not so cold. Same here in Cobar, so cold. Is it cold? You know, here it never gets cold. It's always hot. It's either hot and rainy or hot and not raining. You're not fuzzy at my end. All right, great. Hans, thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing, Hans. Look like you're broadcasting next door to me. Really fantastic, then. All right, let's see if it stays that way. Debbie Mack, welcome back. Good to see you. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just sitting around the house. We all had a late dinner, and then I got over here. You're on the Apple TV. Great. You have subtitles on Facebook, Randy, for you speaking. Is there subtitles on? I didn't know that, Facebook user. I'll have to check it out. I wonder why it's having subtitles. No problem. Maybe because my location is in the Philippines, so it's doing subtitles. It's been snowing and raining in the UK. All right. Well, I was watching Frasier in Scotland. It looked like there was a bit of snow around and cold where he was. Thank you, Buy Me a Coffee Award. Cup of Joe, would you like to try to come up to see if you're working? I have invited you a couple times, but I don't think you could come home. Am I home already? Yeah, we're back at our house here for a couple of days. Chris, hello. And we're going to go to a mountain resort in 2 or 3 days and hang out in the mountains for a few days. Emily Hunt, hello. Got loose in the half chat. Hi, Randy. You too. Oh, Emily got loose. Did you get loose? I don't know. Okay, Joe, let me give you an invite and then we'll move ahead. Hey, Dee Dee. Top of Joe. Boom. You've been invited. Saad, hello, sir. How are you? What's happening in Saudi? I hope you're doing okay. What's happening? You're not getting enough sleep. I am. I'm just sleeping at weird hours. You know, I'm randomly sleeping day, night, afternoon. Chris, good to see you, sir. Let's give you an invite, Chris. See if we get a couple people. Been watching your replays from the mansion. Yeah, I missed that place. That was an excellent place. We're going next to a mountain area that is like some kind of a little mountain resort. Just you rent the whole resort thing. Did you check? You know what, man? I checked VRBO. It is shockingly expensive. Let me put this up here, Chris. was shocked at some of the pricing on that VRBO. It was crazy. They were trying to get $500 a night for some of their houses. And I rented a mansion on a mountain for 200 a night. But there's other people on VRBO that are renting big houses, but they wanting $500 a day, and they weren't any nicer than the mansion we rented. How long am I live in the Philippines? I've had a house here for 28 years, coming and going. Cup of Joe, you made it on.
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, fantastic. Your picture is great too.
All
May I,
right.
Cup of Joe, what device are you using?
I'm using my laptop.
Okay, yeah. So it seems to always be good on the laptop.
Yeah.
Chris, I invited you up, by the way, and I found better pricing on Airbnb, it seemed like. Mr. Yossi, salam, how are you? Jamie, hello. Yo, 2003. I wish
Yeah.
you moved there full time. Yeah, not yet. I still need money.
Yeah. Yesterday I got knocked off and I couldn't get back on. They kept saying that everybody's. I tried to go on the stream. It kept saying there was no. The stream was no longer.
That is very weird.
And they were live.
That has happened to me a couple of times.
Yeah, I even send you a thing of it.
How long may one stay in the Philippines if you're from the U.S.? Scott, you can come here for a month and keep renewing it every month for 6 months.
Hey, hello, everybody.
Unless you come here with your wife or family from Philippines, then you get a year at a time visa. So yeah, Joe, I had the same problem the other day. It was quite strange. I'm not sure what was going on.
Yeah, I was in there watching, and all of a sudden I got knocked out. And then I tried to get back in, and it was saying that the broadcast was no longer.
Yeah, I don't know. I will share that with them and ask them what that is. You're about the fifth person who's told me they've had these problems. There's a possibility. I think there's a couple people that are. How many people do you have blocked, by the way?
Like Ted Cruz.
Do you have anyone blocked, Joe?
No, I have nobody blocked.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
One guy I have blocked.
Okay. Well, if that one guy goes to everybody's broadcast and says hello, then it'll hide it from you.
Right.
I had that problem the other day. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, I think they're working on this type of thing. Jamie Birch is with us live from Twitter. Monster Cookie, your picture quality is great on the phone. Good. But yeah, it depends where you're at. They are having third-party server problems. Yes, Emily, you're correct. There's been a lot of problems. I was trying to watch, was it Bob or Robert, the retired Air Force guy? He was playing a game, and it was so pixelated, I couldn't figure out what was going on. It was very pixelated. But I believe his broadcast, when he comes up here, even his normal stuff is really hard. Why is Periscope ending? Periscope was purchased by Twitter, and they're going to take what they need for the Twitter Live and soak up Periscope. You know, Twitter also bought Vine a few years back, and they killed Vine also. So the bigger companies buy the small ones, suck them up, and take what they need and end the other ones. So it's just a business thing. I'm not really sure. I guess you're buying resources, you know. So how's your place there in Florida, Joe? Everything good with you?
Yeah, everything's okay. I'm a bit under the weather today, and plus I've been getting withdrawals because I haven't had coffee in a few days. So, and I just ran out of tea. I was drinking tea, and I ran out of tea. So now I'm still waiting till the 1st so I could go and get some coffee.
Man, I've been drinking Nescafe.
Yeah, I can't drink. I cannot drink at all instant coffee. It gives me.
I've been doing instant coffee since I came here. It's all right.
Yeah, it gives me indigestion.
Yeah, it is weird the way that does. When you make the coffee ground, Well, now we're using a coffee maker, but the ground coffee is good. The instant coffee gives me a little acidic feel. Emily Hunt says, unfortunately, that's probably the direct issue with the split screen. It's hard to keep certain people blocked. Oh, seems like a couple dozen companies are going to run everything soon. Matthew, yeah, these are scary things, you know. The recent Twitter blocking people and then Google demanding Australia do something, and I don't know, we're getting in the realm of monopolies. There's going to be three tech companies that run the world, and I don't know what they're going to do. So, three companies that run the world, you fall in line or you don't. These are true monopolies. I mean, it's just, I don't know how that's all going to work out. At the end of the day, I think it can be solved if everybody will buy their own special home router that actually shoots out its own algorithm, and they don't let the advertisers ping you with their ads. So if pretty soon there should be a home-based modem or Wi-Fi or whatever connection device to the ISP that can includes your own algorithm. So when you type on your computer and look for data, it doesn't make it give you the ads. I'm sure there'll be some type of a home box that has a built-in ad blocker that battles the other algorithms.
Yeah, Randy, I sent you something similar to that. It was I saw a thing on it. It looked very interesting. It was some kind of like a Wi-Fi router that you could go out anywhere outside. If it goes any places that you have bad internet. This.
Yeah, it supposedly combines all the signals. As soon as you said the word bad internet, you disappeared. That's oh, hello, Angel Haps. Hello. Brenda, hello. Joe said the word bad internet and his internet disappeared. Oh, that's just hilarious. I don't mean to laugh, but that's kind of funny. I'm going to take Joe down. He's apparently gone. I'll put it down here for a minute. What's happening? Pete from Florida. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, Joe's gone. He mentioned the word bad internet and they cut him off. Joe's ISP doesn't like him anymore. They're tired of him complaining, so they cut him off. Oh my goodness. He's out of here. Somebody did it. I don't know. Forever Living Products. What's happening? How are you? There are search engines you can get that block out ads. Yeah, Emily, I know. You know, I've used all that stuff, Emily. Even I tried DuckDuckGo for a while. And to be honest, I still like Google. Even though they control a lot, I still like their search algorithm better. You know, the DuckDuckGo, I tried my best. I converted to DuckDuckGo for a year, and I just didn't like it as much. Google just actually provides me with what I want. So even though we all sometimes want to hate big tech, they're good in so many ways. It's hard to complain. Yes, it's really hard. Brenda, would you like to come up here and chat with us? You're welcome to. Forever Living Products. Hey, Randy. My name is Randy too. What's up, Randy? Let's get you up here. You're on Twitter. You can't come up. If you're on Haps, I'd invite you up, but unfortunately, we can't cross invite platforms. We can see your comments, but we can't get you to come up unless you're on Haps TV, which is a Google-based HAPPS.TV. Pete from Florida, how are you? I've seen some of your broadcasts. Your view was very nice. You had a very crystal clear broadcast. Let's see. I think our comments are slowed down a little bit. We'll wait and see what happens. Joe's completely gone. I wonder what happened to Joe. It doesn't even look like he came back on. Who is sleeping behind you? My daughter is not sleeping. She's on the couch. Let's see. Chanel, wave.
I'm playing a game.
She's playing a game on her phone. We're just lounging in the living room. You don't get kicked like Joe. Make sure the nice things about the internet while doing a split screen with Joe. Yeah, look what happened to Joe. They got booted him. Joe, I don't know if you can hear us, but you've been removed. We don't know what happened to you. We're hanging out here if you hear us. Randy, how are you doing? What's up, Adam? I'm doing fine, thank you. Sophia, hello. What's happening? And welcome. Joe said he got kicked out yesterday and couldn't come back on. Oh, maybe it happened again, huh? Maybe Joe has a troll. We'll have to ask if they can check that out. Let me see. Do I have Cup of Joe's home number? I don't remember. Let me see if I got his home number. Let's give Joe a call and hear what he had to say. Yeah, I've got his home number. Let's see what he says. Oh, he's back. I was calling your house, Joe.
Hey, yeah, I got knocked right out.
Do I have Cup of Joe's home number? I don't remember.
Hello, you see me?
I got his home number. Yeah, but now I hear a double voice. I'm hearing myself coming back.
Oh, hello.
All right, you're good.
You hear me?
Yeah, you better not talk about your ISP anymore. They're going to kick you out again.
Yeah, I got knocked right off, out, completely out.
Yeah, as soon as you said something bad about the internet, they kicked you out.
Yeah.
We'll join in some other time, Randy. Thanks for asking. You're welcome, Brenda. Internet gremlins got him. Yep, Matthew had
I
hit it on
think
the head.
whoever was messing around with me at the Periscope came over here. Now messing around with me
Did you
here.
have somebody following you?
I don't know who, but
Yeah,
It's
let's shoot
strange.
Peter a message or Pablo an email so they can look and see if it's the same person. That way they can block them.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know you had somebody bothering you. Who in the world would bother you?
I don't know. It's the same person that kept getting me knocked out of Periscope, and I couldn't keep any names. I couldn't keep any. Every time I made a name, they would knock me off.
Yeah, we'll figure out. Hey, Bernie,
I was
what's
lucky to have
happening?
that one that they didn't find because
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, they kept finding your accounts and somehow getting you deleted.
yeah,
That is so weird. Of all people, what in the world would somebody have against you? Maybe you got a neighbor who's harassing you or something. That's strange, man.
yeah.
Okay, I remember Joe had to keep making new accounts. Yeah, Matthew. Now I forgot about that, Joe. Yeah, let's go ahead. We need to let them know. You know, do you have Pablo's email?
Nah, I don't have anybody's name. You know,
Yeah,
I
he,
just-
he put it out. We need to get them on that right away so you don't get harassed anymore. Because apparently you have a stalker and they've went from Periscope and now they're over here harassing you. So they
Yeah.
should be able to figure out who it is.
they should do an IP address, but Rico Periscope.
I think they just got him again. Yep, they got him again. Okay, this is ridiculous. Somebody's attacking Joe constantly. Yep, they just got him again. That's unfair. That's just so bad. I wish we knew how this was happening. Oh, that's terrible. You know, it could be his connection, but it just seems too odd the way he keeps disappearing, you know? Anyway, let's hope that it works itself out. Hopefully, Joe can get some help to figure out why this is going on. Yeah, see, anytime he says something about it, they zap him again. I can't. Yeah, why would they harass Joe? It's very weird, Bernie. He's been being harassed for over a year. How are they doing that? I don't know. They did it to him on Periscope, too. They harassed him on Periscope. His accounts got deleted like every 2 weeks. So Joe had to have so many accounts. I'm going to go ahead and take it down until he fixes it again. Every time he says IP AJ, hey, what's up, AJ? How are you on YouTube? Yeah, old Cup of Joe's had a he's into his second year of some weird stuff happening. I'm not really sure. Well, actually, we ought to bring up that topic. There are some people who just target individuals who have there are no harm people, or they, Cup of Joe doesn't even have a lot of opinionated stuff that would make people upset. I'm going to ask them today if they can help figure out what's going on, because I hope it didn't come over there. Fraser, hello and welcome. Adam, I think they can find it. Yeah, he's such a nice guy. He never bothers anyone. I don't know who the creepy weirdo is, like you say, who's following him around. He needs to check his security firewall on his network. Forever Living Products, you may be correct. But still, though, he's been being harassed for over a year now. This is the second year that something is happening, and it's happening on multiple platforms where they actually get his accounts deleted also. And he's zero opinionated about anything. You've been in that position. It's very disturbing. Yeah, I hear you. I don't really understand it. It confuses me how they're able to block his accounts. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows what's going on? Very unique stuff. But you know what it could be? It could just be somebody that lives in their what do you call it? Condominium complex, hacking into his Wi-Fi, playing with his accounts. It could be anything. Hi, Myrna. I think Joe may be coming back here in a minute. He has been watching your scopes forever, and he's always been nice. He's a great gentleman. Joe never has a bad opinion for anyone for any reason. So it's very, very weird that he has the amount of issues that he has. I don't know. I think he needs to do more research. I'm doing great. It's already 12:39 a.m. It's his connection. Yeah, okay, Forever Living Products, but his connection, that wouldn't make his accounts get deleted. You're warming up from being outside there, Fraser. I hear you. Thank you, Myrna. From what I observed, he may have a slow router. Yeah, okay, he may have a slow router, Emily, but that doesn't make the sense why his accounts on Periscope keep getting deleted. Now he can't get on the broadcast, see? I don't understand, Joe. Okay, Joe, I'm going to uninvite you and re-invite you. Uninvite you and then re-invite you. Cup of Joe. Okay, Cup of Joe, I re-invited you, and this time I'm going to make you a director. So let's see if that makes it better. Yeah, Forever Living Products. So that, even if his internet is bad, that doesn't make sense why his accounts get deleted. And he has to make new accounts. That's just odd. Okay, Joe, you've been invited back as a director. Let's see if that helps you. Let me look here. I'm going to check out my own broadcast and see if it's working here. Excuse me while I look. And he has also had hard to make new accounts on Periscope because someone has been hacking his account, so it can't be his router. Exactly. Yeah, he's had some strangeness. Okay, Joe is back.
Okay, hello.
All right, you're back, Joe. Hold on, let me put you up.
Oh.
Okay, this time I made you a director, and let me look and make sure.
Yeah, I couldn't get back on the other one, and I went on my cell phone, and I was able to get on.
Oh, they got him again quickly that time. You're almost 4K on YouTube. Scary. Yeah, well, actually, I'm using a 4K camera. So I don't know. I let it auto adjust. Thank you for the super clap, Brenda. Cup of Joe, I see you. Oops.
Hello.
You're in and out like a yo-yo, but you're here.
Hello. Yeah.
Ramsey, good day, Cup of Joe.
Yeah.
I don't IDK what makes going on hap. It's sorted out. Yeah, I hear you. The bug strikes again. Yeah, you're being attacked, Joe.
Yeah.
You got a network bug and somebody, you know what you could have? There could be some little person in your condo complex that has tapped into your Wi-Fi and they're getting your passwords and stuff. Oops, there he goes again. Hey, John, what's happening? John, would you like to come up? Well, there went Cup of Joe again. Could be his internet connection. Yeah, Linda, that would make sense, his internet connection, except for his accounts keep getting deleted on Periscope. They delete his accounts and he has to remake new accounts before. So, like I said, if it's just his internet connection, we would understand it. That's why he's had a cup of Joe, cup underscore of. I think there's somebody in his compound that's playing with him. Yeah, AJ, what's happening? I'm pretty sure it is because I can, if I live next door to you, I can use an Android phone and get all your accounts. It's not hard to do. Bernie, thank you for the award. When you get kicked by a hacker via your IP address, you have to contact the server. Yeah, Joe's gone. They got him. Let's try somebody else up here and see if they're going to have the same issues. Would anybody else like to come up here? John, are you free? Anybody else available to come up? Just let me know. I'll invite you up. We can see if you're having the same problem. Emily, would you like to try to come up? Asha, hello, from snowy London. Whoop, whoop.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
All right. Welcome, Joe. I think we're going to try to let's see
Yeah.
if we Bernie, do you have time to come up? Are you busy?
I just got a message.
What did it say? Oh, heck. I don't mean to laugh, Joe. It's not funny, but oh God. My family's doing good. Daughter's on the couch. I think my son went to sleep. Benji's playing with the dishes. I hate to laugh, but it's getting a little funny. Dang. You know what, Matthew? Yeah, just when he gets started, he keeps getting zapped. Yeah, he's gone again. He said he's getting a message. I don't know what message he's getting, leaving us in suspense. Yeah, it's like, talk about a cliffhanger. Yeah, man. Come on, Joe, get back here. We're dying to hear what happened. You can make all the profile names you want. If you kick from your IP address, you'll still be blocked. Okay, Emily, you're right about that. Oh, man. I just had a late night bathroom stop before sleeping again. Oh, did you, Bernie? No problem. Dee Dee, hello, Chanel and Vanjie says the best. Chanel.
Whoa.
Let's see. There you go. Chanel, give a wave.
Whoa.
Chanel's relaxed, chilling on the couch. Vanjie was in the kitchen. All right, Joe, you got us in suspense here. It's like the end of the movie and somebody turned the TV off. Dr. Yasser Ali, salam, kayf al-hal, habib. Joe, we're in big suspense here, man. Oh, this is crazy, the suspense. Okay, do. What happened to Cup of Joe? Will we ever know? Linda Roper, ma'am, what's up? We're in a big suspense, waiting on the news. You're intrigued now. Everybody's intrigued. I'm waiting for Joe to get back and give us his description. I'll just say stay in the background. I'm being pinged and kicked out. Okay, Joe, who is doing it? Joe, you said you got a message. Can you tell us what the message said? We're all waiting. Come on, Joe. What's happening? What did the message say? Good day, Walt. How are you? Tune in next week to Some Bad Time, same channel. Walt, how you doing, man? Maybe a family member. Joe was abducted. Oh, you don't know, Joe? You said you got a message, I thought. Right before you left, you told us, wait a minute, here I have a message, and boom, you left. Oh, now Joe's slow typing is keeping me suspended. This is killing me. I feel like I'm in a drama and the TV keeps going to a commercial. Walt, you're welcome to come up if you're not busy. Let me see if I can get Walt to come up. Marianne Masso Eldridge, hello and how are you from Facebook? What's up? I'm glad you're in North Carolina. I heard that Twitch app broadcast is better than HAPS. Is that true? Actually, Twitch is good, and I have a Twitch account. All good things. Having a few problems on Android today. Very strange. Are you? It says your computer has been pinged and has stopped. Your computer has been pinged and has stopped. Huh. Yeah, I don't really know what that means, Joe. I don't know. I've been on social media for a while and dealt with hackers and learned trucks and different apps. Each app has its own hacker glitches. Okay. They zapped his message as well before he could read it. So it says your computer has been pinged and has stopped. Huh. I really don't know what that means. I can ping anybody's computer just to see if you have a signal. It doesn't mean I stop you. Your phone, when I type the message, comes approximately 10 seconds later. Wow. Joe, go to your router settings and make it not pingable. Oh, Brian, that's a good point. You can't get back on your laptop. Brian has a good point here. You can actually make it where people cannot ping your router. High ping is his router. Okay. Yeah, apparently, Joe, the person from Periscope is at you. You can come up, New Five Boy. Okay, let's get you up here. I wish we had a tech person that could come and help you, Joe. I just don't know how to handle that. Now you're on the phone now. Yeah, Joe, apparently, I'm not sure what's going on. Actually, the message doesn't make sense. Is that exact wording they used? Because that wording sounds like a non-American third-party pop-up window type thing that if you click on it, they take over your computer, and then you're going to call somebody in India. You're terrible at electronics. Yeah, maybe we can get one of the IT guys here. Bob, hello and welcome. Bob, I'll give you an invite. You're welcome to come up also. Bob, you've been invited here. Give me a second. Yeah, Bob, you're invited. I don't know how HAPS works. I try to find you live on there, and I don't know how to get your lives. Okay, you have to be on HAPS TV, and then put in Randy W. Horton, and you'll find me. This is a weird connection on the laptop. 5 seconds ahead of my phone on the same Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm having the similar issue. Hello, Lord Duke, Randy Horton, King of the Holders Kingdom. What's happening, Captain Rehab? Would you like to come up, Captain Rehab? You're welcome. Your router is hooked up to your TV, phone, and internet. Okay. Oh, you can't right now? No problem, Bob. Captain Rehab, you're welcome to come up also if you would like. I'll give you an invite. If you're busy, don't come up. Captain Rehab, internet pest. Bernie loves you. uh, you have the triple play. Yeah, I hear you. I don't. Maybe you need to call your ISP, Joe, and tell them someone's harassing you, and maybe they can set your router up for you. I don't know. Hey, Walt, did you walk around the area? Not quite hardcore as yours. Frazier, oh, I didn't see you there. Let me get you up here, Frazier. I forgot. Sorry, we got distracted by Cup of Joe's problems. He was leaving us on a cliffhanger. All right, Captain Frazier, all of y'all have been invited. Let's see if we can find Michael if he's finished his broadcast yet. Michael, am I seeing? Did we put the message? Yeah, his message came out that something's pinging his computer and he's been blocked. Got to TTYL bye. I hope that you get the problem solved. Yeah, Joe, we're hoping you get your stuff solved. What if the website to test the Wi-Fi? Just do speed check or speed something. I just do speed test. It comes up automatically. Hey, Dee. Walt, I think I already invited you, Walt. I'll invite you again, even though you say you're having problems. Walt, you're being invited also. Where is Walt? Hold on. Walt. There, Walt's been invited. Who did we have just pop in? Frazier's here. What's up, Frazier?
Just relaxing after my walk.
That was a good walk.
Yeah,
it looked cold for me, though.
Yes, it was chilly. But it was nice. Nice and refreshing. Nice. So it was all good. All good.
We're sitting here and I don't know if you've been watching. Cup of Joe's had some drama. Every time he talks about his connection, it immediately went out.
Yeah, I see that. It's not ideal.
I think somebody's playing with him.
Possibly.
I think somebody's playing with him for sure. You know, he had the problem for a year on Periscope that somebody kept, I don't know, I guess they kept deleting his account. So there must be a group of people attacking him, but it's very weird. He's the nicest guy who never says anything derogatory. One of the most conservative people I know, and somebody harasses him. I really don't understand that.
Back up was Walt. The man himself.
You can go to DesireReports.com and join and have a test run on your internet. Joe, did you see what Brian just said? Walt, welcome.
Got to be careful where I'm watching now because I've got the laptop on one side, I've got a monitor on the other side, so just so I can see what's happening.
Well, you can watch my replay of my walk if you.
I will do. I seen a little bit, but I had to jump off, Fraser. I was busy. My wife just actually had to go down to the hospital. So I've just got to. If I jump off suddenly, then I apologize, guys. It's because I'll have a call coming in.
All good.
John, how are you here? We got Mr. John with us. What are you up to?
Not too much. How you doing?
This is the first time I've seen you in a car. I've always seen you in a truck.
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm actually going to visit my brother.
All right. Walt, do you know new Boy John?
Hi there.
Hello.
Fraser, do you know John?
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, Fraser.
Trucker John.
John, meet Fraser and Walt.
Hi, Walt.
Good to
meet you. And everybody in the comments, welcome.
Do you want me to identify myself, Randy?
Go ahead, tell people who you are, and then make a comment so folks can follow you.
All right. My name is John. I'm a long-haul truck driver based out of Toronto, Ontario, and 90% of my driving is in the U.S. That's about it.
Are you an owner-operator in Canada, or do you guys work for, how does it work? What kind of situation are you in?
At the present time, I work for a company. I used to be an owner-operator. A couple of years ago, I went through a messy divorce and had to liquidate everything, and so I went on within a company truck, and I've just been comfortable there. So I don't see myself buying a truck ever again.
I hear you. I have some friends years ago that were owner operators, and the expenses were getting so carried away, they kind of laid off of that and went to work for other direct companies.
Yeah, it's tough for an owner operator these days with the fuel prices and everything. It's just what I like about working for a company is when I park my truck and got my time off, I don't have to think about that truck till I get back into it. Whereas when I was an owner operator, if I had a bad month, there was no going home. I had to stay out and make my money. So now it's just I love the fact that I can just park my truck and not have to think about it till I get back in it.
Yeah, that's nice to go home and not have that payment and insurance bill keep clicking at you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And maintenance bills and
Yeah, I worked 10 years doing business development as a consultant, paying all my own expenses, not driving a big truck, but traveling around and taking care of all my expenses. And it was quite a tremendous responsibility. It's nice to take a break from that sometimes.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, what are you doing up there for a living, by the way? Are you retired? Are you working?
I wish I was retired. No, I work for a marketing company up in Dublin. I've been with them now since we come across to Ireland about 17 years now. We do a lot of, how would you put it? We work along people's personas and digital media points, which is quite scary when you think we target certain people. So, for instance, if we get certain media points up with people, it's amazing what people know on you. It really is. So we don't want to target, say, for instance, we don't want to sell a BMW to somebody who's renting a house, who's unemployed, who takes a bus to work or anything like that. We want to target like the professional people and the likes of that. And that's basically what it's all about for like the digital marketing points and the personas and everything to do with that. But we do a lot of digital marketing. We do a lot on Facebook. We do a lot on Google. We do a lot on all over, to be honest. But I've been ops manager with them for now, 15 years. It's a strange one, it really is.
I like that kind of marketing. That's actually, that's really nice service to sell to companies so they're not blanking the world with needless advertising dollars.
Exactly. But I mean, it's a total big change. I was in the fire service, 18 years beforehand. So I was 10 years in the Air Force Fire Service. I was out in the Middle East, out in near the northern border there, a place called Tabuk.
I know Tabuk quite well. It's still a quiet little place.
Yeah. I was on the air base there. I was deputy in charge of the fire station on the air base there for 2 years. Good experience.
Year were you in Tabuk?
Pardon?
What year were you in Tabuk?
I left the Air Force in 93, and I was out there 93 to 95.
All right. I was there in 95. You know, those little, in Tabuk, there's a little place where you go in and you would pay money to use their phone.
Oh my God.
I sold that to him. I sold that to the guy there.
I was in there, at least once a week, phoning family and everything back home. And I'm going to transfer money across to you now. I mean, obviously, we're talking days before the mobile phones were actually out.
Yeah, this is before anybody could afford a mobile.
Exactly.
They called them call cabins, and we sold some of the first ones. One was to a guy there in Tabuk, and he's on here sometimes.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, we had a villa. Yeah. We rented there was about five officers out there, and we had a villa and everything right in the center, right opposite. I don't know whether you can remember the main mosque in Tabuk.
I don't remember the lay of the land personally.
Yeah, well, we were right opposite that. So come to Friday prayer, we were actually looking down on the mosque. I'm not going to. You know yourself what actually happens on a Friday afternoon as well. So it's an experience, because we had a flat roof where we used to. Well, my wife used to sunbathe out there. It's a great experience. Really enjoyed it out there.
Bernie asked, how do you find time to go to work while you're walking around the hills all day?
I only walk around the hills during the weekend. Like my week is basically working, and then I go for a walk. I'll do a 4 or 6 mile walk in the evening time just to take Teddy. He's at the side of me now. I don't know whether you can pick him
Hello,
up.
Vishwajit. Yeah, Mr. John, you always have a really good connection, and I wanted to say from everybody else and from me, we really appreciate your interaction. It's always nice to have you everywhere, every day, just interacting with the community. I just wanted to say we really appreciate you, sir. It's really great to know you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. If you guys don't know John, he is one of the most interactive people on our social media platforms. We really appreciate him.
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, brother.
And
Now,
Fraser,
Walt, I'm going to run down here to Fraser.
now.
Hey, Lene. Mr. Fraser.
Yes.
I can't read any comments. I'm driving, so.
No worries. I understand. I've had a lot of people tell me when the comments are a little small, and it's funny they haven't addressed that, but it seems to be getting, I don't know if my eyes are going or their comments are getting smaller.
It can be a bit of both.
Lori Burns from Dumfries, what's up? What about you? All of us here have glasses except for Walt. Walt, what's the secret to having good eyes? Oh, you were just trying to cover it up. Okay.
Only recently I wear them for reading or anything because my eyes basically gone. That's why I've got the monitor in front of me. I noticed yesterday when I was on your broadcast yesterday, like I could not see any comments at all. So I thought, well, today I'll put you on the big screen, and at least I can actually see. That's why I'm probably looking at a different angle to the actual camera.
Yeah. Well, I actually bought glasses once I couldn't hold my phone any further away from my body. You know, I was holding my phone further and further, and then my arm couldn't hold it out anymore, and I went and got lost.
I find that because obviously at the mountains, or when more my broadcasts come from the hills or the mountains, etc., like that. But I never wear glasses there. But what I am finding now is I am struggling to read people's comments while I'm trying to walk at the same time. It is becoming difficult. So who knows? Before long, I might be wearing the glasses going out up the hills.
I hear you. What are you using to connect to the internet, Fraser? You seem to always have a good signal.
It's broadband, fiber optic.
Okay. What about your phone? What are you using? How come you always seem to have a clear signal?
It's just my network. O2 is my network provider.
Okay, well, you got a good provider. And John, you seem to have a signal everywhere you're at.
Yeah, I've been fortunate, I guess.
Yeah, yours is quite clear too
two
today.
different plans, though. I have a Canadian plan. I have a Canadian plan and a U.S. plan.
Okay, so you got two different ways to attack it. Walt, you're doing good at home, but when you're out today, it was a little bad.
I watched the replays today, Randy, and I don't know. I really don't know what was going on. I mean, my first broadcast, I did a first broadcast on Android. Everything was grand. I tried to do a broadcast 10 minutes later. About 15, 20 minutes later, I pressed the connect button. And at this time, I didn't even realize I was actually broadcasting at the same time. Nothing was actually through on my phone. So I literally was walking up and then I'd stop. I press the connect button again. It's a good job I didn't do any cursing about anybody.
All right.
I watched the replay. Then two of my broadcasts after that, which I did walking down from the tops there, no comments were coming through. So I had no idea whatsoever whether anybody was actually watching, whether anybody was commenting. And it was just very, very strange. I put a note up on my profile just to apologize to anybody on there. But very, very strange.
Yeah, I hear you. We've all had our days here and there where it's just... Right now, I think our comments are a bit frozen because I noticed our comments, people in the comments we're not ignoring you. It's just the comments are kind of bursting in and then they disappear. So if you're in the comment section and you think you're being ignored, you're not being ignored. It just, I don't know what's going on, but like there's so many comments and then they boom, disappear for a while, or they just stop and lock up. Right now, there's no comments moving for a few minutes. It's
Yeah,
been
the
the
last
last
comment
couple of
I've
days.
got is-
Apostle Lewis, okay.
Everyone has glasses but
Ready?
Walt Disney.
Yes, John.
I'm going to be coming into a dead zone soon, so if it drops off, that's because it's a dead zone.
No worries, John. We appreciate you there. So what do you got, like a dead zone in your area that you're aware of? Oop.
There we
he
go.
was- there you go. John, I see you on the right side, but on the left side, there you're coming and going. Okay. That was a good call on the dead zone. Yeah, you
Yeah,
called that perfectly. You know your dead zone.
May I ask a question now, Andy, while you're on?
Guy is here. Go ahead. Okay, John left us. Please go ahead, Walt.
Yeah, quick question. Right. Okay. When you actually broadcasting, obviously, I've only been on other people's broadcasts. So I'm going to start a broadcast myself maybe later on today. I just want to share a couple of the scenes and show people where eventually I'll be actually broadcasting from. And I want to take them to a little island. It's only a matter of 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long. But is it better to upload the file to the actual media, or can I share a screen and show it that way?
You're probably better uploading it.
I would share the screen. When I loaded media,
Yeah.
and then I went back, it disappeared. So I spent an hour loading a gigabyte onto the broadcast studio, and then I went out and I came back to broadcast and it was all gone. So I'd wasted an hour uploading. I think you'd be better off with a screen share.
Okay, yeah, because I've not experienced anybody using a screen share on here, so it was nice to know that it can actually work that way.
Yeah, Guy, you've been invited. Let me see if we can get Apostle Lewis if you're free. Apostle Lewis probably at church today. Yeah, but no, I had a little bad luck with the uploaded stuff.
That's
that
what
it
I
keeps
concerned about.
disappearing, and I don't know why. I keep saying I don't know why. You know what? I'm 30 years in the computer IT business. I know what's going on. The app sucks, but we're trying to work with it. I mean, I've been building networks, designing millions of dollar networks. I know the problem, but I'm trying to be friendly and say, oh, I don't know, but I know the problem. This has problems.
Yeah. I think
It's what we do for a living. I have 100 and some engineers that we design and manage networks throughout oil and gas and government every day. So I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is.
Or are you looking at the camera? Look, you're looking. Ted, who's this? Look, say hello to everybody. Say hello to everybody.
Tired from the walk.
He is. He's had a couple of long weekends. Like I think last weekend we did 25K, 26K last weekend. Then we did another 15K on the Sunday. And today weren't too bad. We did probably about 9K today.
All right.
But he's
what did he say? Apostle Lewis says it could be a system overload. Well, 12 minutes past the hour. Guy, you were invited, by the way. The system overload. Well, actually, when you build, there's some system overloading. There's point of access, network hub distribution areas, anticipating your traffic and trying to control that. There's so many factors involved. So it's not as easy as people think. I understand the problems. And then you have to use bandwidth management, and then you have to look at the amount of data required. You have to streamline your apps. There's so many things that you have to do. It's actually quite complex.
I can
You couldn't broadcast 2 days ago. Yeah, I was the same way, Apostle Lewis. But I figured out if I logged into a VPN and I told the network that I was in San Francisco in the Bay Area, then I was able to broadcast. So I can get around the problems, but it's just a headache to do it, you know. Yeah, even you could get around it if you just tell the network that you're somewhere else.
Totally. Well, on my walks, I carry 3 SIM cards. I carry 2 phones with me. An iPhone and an Android phone, and I've also got a spare SIM card as well for when I'm up the mountains, like just in case one of them cards has got to work.
I hear you. Well, in America, it depends on what city you live in. I was living in New Orleans for a while, and I had their T-Mobile complete network, and it was unbelievable. We had the best signal in the city. As soon as you drove out of town, it was questionable.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, Frazier's on O2, which is known as a very good network.
Yeah, we've got. We're still struggling. We're still a little bit behind here in Ireland. A bit like to book in Saudi.
I don't know. Saudi's got they've really improved now. I have good connections there most of the time. It's kind of strange.
That's brilliant.
In the U.S., it depends where you live, what kind of signal you have.
Yeah.
Some cities are beautiful, and some just are not really doing that well.
Yeah, I'm still a member of a Facebook page to book and everything, and the people who worked out in Tobruk there, and I see people who are out there now. We worked alongside the likes of British Aerospace and people like that. So there's a lot of guys who I still know are still out there, and they showed pictures of the Tobruk as is today, and wow, what a change in those few years.
Yeah, I was gone 7 years. When I came back, I couldn't even find my way to the house.
Yeah. Like
really, I landed at the airport. I was lost. I couldn't even go to one city to another. I'd lived there 15 years. I left 7 years, and then I came back. I was lost. There's some areas I couldn't find it. That's because I'm close to the University of Florida. Okay, Apostle Louis near the U.S. Florida. That's good. So you're at the Jackson. Gainesville, I believe.
So you didn't slip on your walk this morning, Fraser?
No.
Oh, good.
It was good. A nice brisk walk, though.
Exactly. That's what's needed. Like, clears the head.
It does. That's kind of multitasking here in the background, watching them football.
Which game are you watching now?
It's the Man United v Liverpool in the FA Cup.
Oh, is that on now?
It's on now in the BBC.
Right. I was just watching the Leicester game.
All right, good. It's on now live.
I'm originally from Leicester, so obviously I'm a big Foxes man. So yes.
Not to bore Randy with soccer chat.
I know. I won't. I promise.
So, Brendan Rodgers doing a good job, actually.
He's done a brilliant
Apostle
job.
Louis, you've been invited up, by the way.
Just to
So we can get it in the background here. I'll keep the sound down.
I've got it down. I'm watching it on the BBC website.
So you guys are into your game right now.
Yeah, right, like our soccer.
No, we're not. Our 100% focus is on you, Randy.
We're just.
Yeah, right.
We're trying to be a woman and multitask.
I'm not very good at that. my camera's way too high there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you adjusted where we can see you.
It's probably because I put it down
on the wrong side.
You're on the. You're chopped off the screen. That's better.
There you go. I was trying to figure out where to put you to best see you.
Scary.
That was weird.
There he is, Apostle Louis.
Let's see how this works.
Louis.
We got Apostle Louis coming up. Apostle Louis, hold on. We don't know what's going on. I clicked on you, but I'm getting that H sign.
There we go. Here he comes.
Oh, there we go. We got Apostle
right.
Louis up here.
Can we hear you?
Walt, do you know Apostle Louis?
I don't know.
Apostle Louis, tell folks who you are. Walt don't know you. I believe Fraser knows you now.
Yeah, I'm a minister here in Gainesville, Florida. I was just saying that, it's crazy that I wouldn't have such good connection because I'm close to the University of Florida. And, we have several colleges in the area in which I am. connection. But on this app, it's been terrible the last couple of days.
I agree.
it seems to
It's
be me.
just going that way.
Seems to me it has always decent connection. It's not been too bad for me. But I think for the rest of you, you'll have it's not. It's like your trenches just to get a connection.
Yeah, you seem to have a great connection, Fraser. I do when I'm at home on the network. What's up, George, doctor from man, I lost my mind.
Excuse me a second, guys. I'm just going to put the lamp on behind me.
No worries, no worries. So, Apostle Lewis, did you have a church today, or is that coming up? No, that's already.
Yeah, it's coming up. I have coffee yet. I'm kind of throw it off.
I hear you. Yeah, right now we're having a little. Right now you're having something happening when you're talking. It's stop and go, stop and go.
Yeah. See, well, now.
No, it's the same. It's stop and go, stop and go.
Yeah. So that's what I think. It's been kind of bad. So I've just been on Periscope lately.
It's funny. It's like you're speaking a new language I've never heard of. I feel like I'm talking to somebody in Papua New Guinea. It's
Walt's certainly drawing his blinds. You can hear that.
Sorry, guys.
He's
Don't worry.
how big is your window? It must be huge. If it's a never-ending blind drawer.
Believe me, there's how many? There's 23 windows in here. If we ever need to replace them, it's going to cost me a fortune.
Hey, Brandon, how are you? Can you try again, Apostle Lewis? Let's see if it continues.
Cheaper buying a new house.
We'll try it later. Okay, Apostle, try to talk again. Let's hear it. Let's see one more time.
Okay. How about now?
Can you hear you?
Hey,
I can hear you. All good.
I can.
Yeah, you've improved now. Okay, fantastic.
Maybe it was the lighting.
Well, everything happens with God's will. I think it was his will to tell you shut up for a minute. Now he told you to speak. I'm playing with you, Apostle. Let's swap you with Mr. Walt. Let's see if that works out. There we go. All right. So what were you doing at church today? What was the main thing your sermon was about?
Is that for me?
Yeah, what were you having a sermon today, talking to folks about something?
I will be talking to people about something on today, and the subject is simply this: are you sure about this? And that's just the fact that most people think they know what they want to do, or they think they know what they believe, but most people don't. They don't study. We talked about this before. People don't study. They don't reach out to other people. They take what they heard, what they've been told, and they go with it. So my question to them is, are you sure about this?
That's a good subject. That ought to be enlightening. You'll have fun with that.
Yeah.
Are you sure about this? Or are you thinking about it? I see that a lot, living in Saudi, and I'm sure Walt, where you're at, and Fraser, where you're at, there's a lot of misconceptions from people around the world that think, this is the way it is in Ireland, or this is the way it is in Scotland. And they have all these preconceived notions, but they don't really know what's going on.
Exactly. Totally agree.
Yeah, I watch a lot of it happen. Martin, hello, how are you today? You'd like to come up, you're welcome. Debbie Mack, welcome back. It looks like the comments started again. Once again,
Exactly.
Brandon, Lewis, let me give these folks. We're apologizing if we're missing your comments. They are coming and going, and it's kind of strange. Have you noticed this, Walt?
I do notice this,
Yeah, the comments are like stopping for 5-10 minutes at a time, and then they come back for a minute. So I'm not really sure. So we're not forgetting you in the comments. It's just weird. Apostle Lewis has great sermons, says Carlinda. Okay, Miss Carlinda supporting you. There you go. Apostle Lewis has some great sermons. You know what, Lewis? I was looking at you and a lot of the other preachers on here. Man, I would like to see around 8 preachers up at one time to see you all collaborate on something. I've never seen anybody do that.
Wait a minute. My daughter in down there. Y'all make sure y'all support her. Shay Brown. She's in college now. She's doing very good.
Shay Brown, where's she in the comments? A bit delayed there. Hang on a minute. I see her there. There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see her comment yet. Oh, there they are. Hey, Shay. It took me a minute to see it, so I'm really getting lag on the comments. Wow, I just seen that. And I just now seen Martin's comment.
Randy, go and put me to the behind the scenes. I'm going to put myself on mute. I'm going to make a quick call. Okay.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
I'll just.
Let's see here. Let me get Fraser down for just a minute while he makes a call.
There we go.
Monitoring been working here for me real time with no issues. Okay. It may be. Oh, Richard Roberts is here. Richard, I tried to go into your and watch your broadcast. You probably have the most pixelated broadcast on the planet. Lewis got booted out just now by accident. No problem. All right, Walt, it's you and I. Everybody else got disconnected. Whoop, whoop. We must be blessed.
Send this text back a second, Randy. Excuse me for 2 seconds.
No problem. So anyway, we're sitting here today. We'll get it all figured out. There is a little lag in the comments and the video again today. I hope this hurry ups and gets sorted out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some days I get so many complaints, I just feel ashamed.
I'd be the same. I'm getting a few people coming back to me from Periscope who have not moved across to apps yet and saying, what happened today? And I get a message to, where were you? What happened? And I don't know.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of personal messages. Most people have my messenger or they have my WhatsApp number. So,
Oh, wow.
Richard Roberts said the replays are better. Man, I went into yours, Richard. I couldn't see a thing. It was unbelievable for me. I don't know if how it was for others, but I was really, I was suffering.
I think there's a few problems last night with, this morning. I'm not quite sure when it took place, but the dance off, was it between Bannerman and Vince there?
Yeah, that went double trouble though. A little bit of connection, and then the person in charge of it kept pushing the wrong button and disrupting the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, Oki kept pressing the wrong button, then the whole thing would switch to her right in the middle of the dance. So,
Oh, God.
she
Yeah, I
was
tried
having
to, it was like, half past 4 this morning, but I was still awake because I was watching the UFC. That didn't come on. I didn't go to bed till 6 o'clock this morning. Then got up just after 8 o'clock.
Richard has a new single pixel webcam. the 1 pixel webcam. The OBS. Is that what it is, Richard? Okay. He got the new improved 1 pixel webcam.
Try monitoring the comments on a second device because they have been working here for me in the last time with no issues during this broadcast. Ah, right, Martin. Yeah, they're definitely not working for us who's in here.
Yeah, if you're in the broadcast, we don't know what's going on. It's kind of like we're talking to ourselves and occasionally we see a comment. Let me see if I can monitor from another device. Or if that's not going to work. Let me see.
Have a look.
Whoops.
I had it on my phone as well, and I thought
Yeah, let's see if that works.
using OBS to distribute content to apps is such a problem
See if that works.
at the moment until the
Apostle Lewis said he got kicked out. Yeah, Apostle Lewis. We had the same problem with Joe earlier, and he couldn't get back in. So I apologize for that. I guess I could uninvite you and invite you back. Let me see if that works.
I think that was the problem we had yesterday as well, Randy.
Yeah, it is. Same thing.
Yeah. Why can you not check comments on your cell phone? Because we watch. Actually, we're looking at 3 different things now. We've got the monitor, we've got the laptop, I've got a phone. And I'm not very good at multitasking either. Like, so this is all new to me, guys. So I do apologize on that. And I found myself, there's something, Randy. I'm not used to being this side of the camera, I must admit. And I watched the replay yesterday, and you've seen a totally different person of me yesterday to what I am. It's crazy. I feel when I'm behind the camera, I feel so confident. Yet when I'm put and I see myself, I'm on the screen there, I feel as if, hell, stage fright, help.
I just gave myself a comment from my phone to see how long it took, the delay. And I counted 8-second delay from when I pushed this phone to on the screen.
And that's from the
I
same.
don't think you're totally different, Walt. I think you're over emphasizing it.
I think it's because something's up here now, Randy. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it's because I've told myself I'm not confident in front of the camera, even though I feel so confident. I can rabbit on. I can talk for Ireland when I'm this side the camera. But I've got something up here now which tells me I don't feel confident. I keep telling myself I don't feel confident in front of the camera. So that's probably why, hopefully within time now, like this is only my second day coming into somebody else's broadcast. So hopefully in
Mojo
time,
had a good comment there. I feel like everyone talks about Haps is Haps. Well, no, Walt's talking about now his confidence in broadcasting and how he doesn't feel confident when all of the comments say Walt is the best guy and very confident. So that's funny when all your comments are positive, but you don't feel that way. What do you need? Like 2 million people to send you a letter?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, Randy. I say it every time on my broadcast. I can talk while I'm behind the camera, but as soon as I see myself on the screen, then my confidence just basically goes. And it's not as though I'm being interviewed, I'm being given what's this and what's that or anything like that. We're only guys, we're only friends, we're good together and everything like this. And it's just weird.
Richard said it's like a public speaking practice. Yeah, kind of like that.
It takes a lot. So my heart goes out to a lot of people who are only viewers who never broadcast at all, because it does take quite a lot to actually come up in front of a camera, to broadcast, to set up a broadcast yourself. I do think there's a lot involved in it.
Well, I'm in business development, and I get, I may go to like Aramco for a meeting and thinking I'm going to sit in one office. Many times I walk in a room, there's 50 or 100 people there, and I didn't even know I was the speaker. So I've kind of been put on the spot for so many times, it doesn't really bother me. At first it's very uncomfortable. When you think you're going to sit with one person and then hundreds show up, it definitely takes a while, but I don't know. It just kind of, you'll get used to it.
Hopefully, yeah. But that you're saying along the lines of that. I used to do fire training when I was in the Air Force. I used to do fire training, and I do that to probably sometimes 300, 400, 500 people, and absolutely no problem. I knew what I was talking about, and I didn't have a problem with that, sitting in front of 500 people. It's just sitting in front of a screen thinking, I don't know.
I don't know. It's no different, man. You're used to doing the public speaking thing. I've been thrown into public speaking 100 times, man. I remember walking into a meeting. I was like, didn't really get up in time. I was running late and I didn't feel that great. And I opened the door and there's like 230 people, engineers, wanting me to explain to them a situation. And it was such a challenge, man. Sit up here and ready to join. Okay, Martin, you want to join? No problem. Let's ask you. I'm sure that. Let me get Martin in here. Martin Shine, where are you?
You're a natural, Randy. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, Newfie boy.
It happens that I just get thrown. I've been thrown in front of people so many times, All right, Martin, I got you invited. Richard said Air Force. Yeah. Were you in the Air Force, Walt?
I was in the Air Force for 10 years, yeah, in the Air Force Fire Service. So I did the 10 years Air Force Fire Service. I could tell you a story what I actually went to after the Air Force. When I came out, I went to work as cabin staff on a big airline.
That is weird how when Martin comes up, anyway, hey, Martin, welcome.
Everything's just gone
It's
black.
crazy. You see me.
This is going in circles. This
It's
is
crazy.
So weird.
I'll just wait for.
This is strange.
All right.
Hi, Martin.
What's happened? Hi.
Hey, Martin, are
Hello,
you
Walt.
watching, Martin, what's happening? The screen's like pivoting.
I can see. Yeah. It's good, isn't it? You see, Randy, your energy is just
AJ,
well,
hello.
it's just insanely positive and on overload as always, and that's what's happening. Haps just can't handle it. Their servers at AWS. It's as simple as that,
Anyway,
surely.
oops,
I've got.
there you-
I know why I've
Martin,
gone.
we hear you.
I'll be
but
back
we
in a
don't
sec.
see
That
you.
was. You see
Oh,
me
now
now. I'm
we see
hiding.
you.
There we are. Let's get the old. Now, yeah, there we are. You know, I'm
Mark?
looking a bit blue right now. It is
No
up,
problem.
it's 1
Everybody
degree.
needs a blue man in their life. Can you tell
Yeah.
folks who you are
It's
if
been
you want to, Martin? For those who don't know you.
Yeah. For those that have me on mute because they don't want to hear my voice, they can go to my profile, but then they wouldn't hear me say that. But yeah, I'm a live events video producer. So there's no kind of coincidence that I'm on here on HAPS and various social medias. After many years working for companies to implement that sort of technology and provide those services, when the pandemic struck, I was about to set sail solo, so to speak, with the handful of people around me to directly provide live streaming services in a corporate way and to any small businesses. I actually, it's the point is, and you were just speaking about this indirectly, I think, Walter, a short time ago, you know, going live, all that hesitation, it's crazy, isn't it? You go into a bar, no problems, you don't know anyone, but as soon as you're, you know, in this situation in front of a
Totally.
camera, most people, I actually, and I've got to say, commend you, Walt, because we've all got to go through this to begin with. And did I understand correctly from Randy or someone on the previous broadcast when we were together, Randy, that you are like in so many words, like a motivational sort of type of person when it comes to getting things?
Yeah, I'm a business
Going in that
director, a
respect.
business development director of a major communications company. And I have to walk
Right.
in front of Fortune 500 companies and just lay it on the table. And most of my clients are like highly skilled engineers. So I have to present and talk about something that they've studied for 10 years. And I've had maybe 10 hours to learn about it. So yeah, I have challenges, to say the least.
We all do. Yeah, we all have challenges, absolutely. But then some people are indeed more of a natural than others. But that's the case for anything in this journey that we're all together on. But I mean, earlier on, I think as well, there's a lot of subconscious sort of inhibitions and emotions going on when you do this sort of thing, because straight away, if you go live on somewhere like HAPS, Periscope, Facebook Live, you are alone. It's as simple as that. And if anything falls over, I don't know if you saw some of the comments towards the end of one of your broadcasts, Randy. I put in there just to remind people, you know, we're doing everything here as a content creator, certainly on live video. This is the extreme, because you know, if you're content creating for YouTube and uploading videos, if it goes wrong, you do it again. Well, most people do, but this is the great thing and the authenticity here when it comes to live video. It shows you that even the professionals get it wrong. I mean, often
What I
people
would
watch.
like to point out is every elected official on every continent will never stand up and do live videos with public. However, they want to represent you. I think there ought to be a requirement that you have 50 hours of live open broadcast prior to being elected any official. You know, they can't do it. You know, when you interview any official, They give you a list of questions that they will answer, and if you ask anything outside of that, they leave the interview. And these people
Absolutely.
were expecting to lead us and our countries and the way we live, but they can't even get on the camera in front of a couple hundred people and talk. If you look right here between Martin, myself, and Walt, we've had around 1,200 people in and out, and around 300 now in and out. So these officials won't do these things. They can't.
Let me give you
talk to the
a
public.
great example in the moment, Randy. A great example is when our Prime Minister and his team, although some would say it was a circus and he's the clown, they will often give a news briefing. We're all aware, approximately 5 p.m. They've got less and less, and it's sort of more a case of, oh, do we have to? I think that the attitude and feeling is there now. You know, that they were doing it daily when the pandemic first hit us all. And to actually highlight your point, at the end, there would be, say, up to maybe approximately 10 questions asked. And initially it was about the press only, and then it moves on now these days to the public. And often it's live. Someone will ask a question live, but you can't tell me that those 10 people haven't been picked out of 10,000 people wanting to ask a question directly to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet here. And the people have also had to, in advance, submit their questions because that way there is prejudice taking place, for want of a better word.
I hear
Absolutely
you.
spot on, Martin. Absolutely
Paul
spot on.
McGinnis asked, is anyone find anything good about lockdown? You know what I found great about lockdown?
Crime's gone down, Randy, but carry on. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, crime's gone down. That's one great one. Yeah, what I found out, I think if everybody looks a little deeper, we don't need to go to an office, and companies don't need to pay billions of dollars a year in commercial real estate. Every family doesn't need a commuter car burning gas every single minute of the day. I would say more than 50% of the jobs on the planet, you could double the wages of the individual and let him work from his own home instead of renting that $20,000 a month little office space so his VIP pansy ass can look like a superstar. You know what? Every home, build yourself a little office, let the company pay for it and give you a raise, because they no longer need to insure that commercial place on the corner of New York City or on that fancy square in Dublin. I think more people can work at home and be paid better. I don't know why we're not doing these things.
Oh, man.
Well, I actually know why, Randy. I don't know every reason why, but I can give you one obvious, as I'm sure you know. In truth, is that, for example, it was directly highlighted by one presenter on a talk radio station when the pandemic was 5 minutes into it ensuing. It was after our first lockdown, and he was saying, pleading with people, go back to work. Go to the city, travel for 45 minutes on a bus and a train, and go to your office because business is dying. But excuse me, it's not my job. It's ultimately I decide where I spend the money I earn, and it's not just you can't tell me that the reason I should be going to the city is because the sandwich store is going to close down. All right, because great, and this is the point. When you actually just stop for a few minutes and analyze everything. Maybe I used to be very introverted and overthink things. Still do possibly a bit too much, but this is the point. You've got to make the unnecessary journey, as you've just been saying, from your home, for 45 minutes each way. So you've lost an hour and a half of your life now straight away. Although these days it's not so bad with digital devices that we can, sort of work on, rather than that journey just being a dead space and time for us. But then, you go to work, and if you're not an early bird, then certainly you'll be buying lunch an extortionate price, 3 times what you would have paid if you bought it and made it at home. And that's it. But again, there really isn't a problem that the sandwich store is closing down in the centre of the city of London, New York, or anywhere in Manila. Why? Because it just means that your money from your pocket, if you were supporting a sandwich store, as I say, in the centre of the city, you're now still having to have lunch, but you're just spending money a little more locally. And the people that live local to that store in the city the people who are spending the money there, not you. Although obviously the problem is a lot of people don't live in that centre of the city because it's way too expensive. So I think this is all a case of we can't have our cake and eat it. And the sooner that someone, just realises that at the top of the, the ministerial sort of pyramid, the better. But they just won't tell us that. They just, they really, in one breath they tell you, and they pretend that they're trying to inform you for your benefit, but very quickly they know we forget because we've got busy lives, that sort of thing, and they want us to go back to our old ways because that's the way the economy works, or has worked up to now.
Salam, Brandon. How are you? And right is right and wrong is wrong. This is true, but that is not the way the world works, unfortunately. Joe, go to your router settings and make it not pingable. Joe, Brian is giving you great information to fix your network if you can figure out how to do it. And back to where you were, Martin.
Yes,
I don't think, Walt, do you have to go to an office building every day?
When I go up to the office probably once a month now, twice a month. At the minute, when everything's back to normal, when the schools are back to normal, it can take me 2.5 hours to get up to work in the morning, and an hour and a half to get back. 4 hours a day just traveling. So my life at the minute, during COVID, I've been working at home now since last March. Every job is getting done. Everything is more or less the same. I've got no reason to go up the office, only to if I need to send that stuff out to the lads which I work. I've got 15 guys working for me all over Ireland. That's the only time I'll be at the office, but I've got 4 hours a day to play with.
Walt.
Whereas I used to be up at 5:30 in the morning, I used to be on the road for 6 o'clock, maybe get to the office for 8:30. And this is only, 75 mile. And now...
what a burden.
I used to leave the office sometimes, 4 o'clock, 4:30, and then it could be 7 o'clock before I'm getting back in the evening. Absolutely crazy.
As we all talk about, this is all slices of something that's wrong. We've developed into a society that's just not correct. We need a whole revamp. We need a whole wash down, scratch board, start over again. No matter
Randy,
what people say, you can't just cut it up. You got to just wash it clean and start again.
I totally agree, because what's happened, Randy, over the years, you see, we're just a little dot in the bigger picture of the world and dinosaurs, that sort of thing, right? We really are. And we just haven't kept up with the changes that are happening now. As I say, in the bigger picture, from, the Stone Age, etc., we've come a long way, sure. But even, things are moving so fast now. And we should have been Zooming, video calling years ago. But because we haven't had to, and businesses haven't had to, and everyone's had a kick up the butt, 12 months ago. Now everyone's on there, and we have fatigue, yes. So a great, basic change that we need to make now is what a lot of people who work for themselves need to do, which is, instead of sort of telling yourself you have to go to work, we now have to find ourselves where we've got to tell ourselves enough on the screen time, and let's get out into the real world. You see, so we've got to kind of discipline ourselves, possibly in 180 degrees fashion, if you want to, I guess, if you understand my analogy.
Yeah.
Can I just, before I forget, Walt, just a sidetrack, great broadcast earlier. It was so worth it. If no one else benefited, I certainly did. So thanks so much. And again, just briefly, while I say that, I wanted to say earlier, when we were kind of talking about the trepidation of broadcasting yourself, this is I didn't finish saying that I mentioned a comment at the end of one of Randy's broadcasts, if not after it had finished, which is that you've got so much going on as a content creator, live video. It's bad enough when your technology is working, your hardware, your cell phone, and the platform. With other things, such as if you're in a city, you've got to be aware that you're making sure that you're framing everything right. People can see what you want them to see and what you think they will enjoy. But then when you're crossing that street, you've got to make sure you're not run over by that next bus. So that aside, again, as soon as there's a small technical issue involved, you've got to be really, I say, strong. You've got to be prepared for the unexpected there. And I think the one fundamental problem when you go live for the first time is I think most people have to understand. My advice is go live with something that you want to say. So, only 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and give a view don't expect anyone to watch or to respond, because that's when you're going to sort of fall down at the first hurdle. And because, you know, you've got to assume that it's a bit like when a radio station starts up for the first time, who's going to be tuned on that frequency waiting for that first track? No one. So you've got to sort of be in existence for, say, at least a week before you start building your audience, as we know as content creators here on HAPS and other platforms.
Great point. Great point.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Martin. Totally agree with you there. And it's so difficult.
You're building up your community very quickly and very nicely. You know, you're doing quite well with it.
Who is me, sorry?
I guess.
Yeah, Walter's doing well.
Oh, well,
Look at this lad. This is the lad who's doing well, Randy, not me.
What's your four-legged friend's name again, Walt? I did catch
That's
earlier.
Teddy.
Teddy, that's right. Teddy.
Yeah. But we've had 2 great dogs before. I lost one, and that's. I mean, I just like to say, Randy, I'd like to put out like now in front of the actual camera. I just want to thank all the followers and all the help and everything they've done for me over the past 5 years being on Periscope. I've had so much help from so many messages of, how would you put it? I mean, I've cried at the top of Mount Leinster. When I lost Snoop back in August of last year, I went to the top. I thought, I'm strong again. This is before we got Teddy. I thought, well, I'm strong again like this. I need to get out of my treks. And I walked up to the top of the mountain. I sat under this place. And there's certain things along my walks which always brings back a memory of one of the dogs. And I sat under the mast at the top. I was actually broadcasting at the time. And I actually cried online. It was just the most surreal, crazy thing. But then I got so many messages afterwards of support and saying, that's absolutely wonderful. Like, it's great to see a man crying. It's this, it's that, and everything. But it wasn't for sympathy or anything off all the friends, off all the things. It was just one of them things. It really, really hit me hard. These guys are part of my family and always will be. And I mean, I treat them like I do my son. So losing one, it really hit me hard. It really did.
Yeah, the great thing I think about that is, Walt, is that again, we never know whether it's live or recorded. When you put content out there, particularly video, you're going to affect someone. We're not, you know, there's only so many people around before unique. You know, none of us are unique. You know, there's 99.99%. Whichever way you want to say it, you know, there's someone out there very similar to us, and emotionally certainly, you know, and I think that there's someone that would have watched what you were just talking about and realised that it is okay to have emotions as a male and things like that, and they might be in a culture where it's not spoken about. They might just unfortunately be when they were brought up as a child, teenager, etc., not being encouraged to you know, understand that it's not weak to show your true colours sometimes, you know. And this goes back to what Randy was saying earlier, albeit when we're talking about we were talking about being a bit more transparent and real. You know, it's strange, isn't it? Why is it that the more and more I keep hearing people with their content, you know, and just basically saying that they've been taught that it's not okay just to be yourself.
Exactly.
No, that's the opposite. It's always great to be yourself, you know.
Right, Randy.
That's the one thing I tell everybody: be yourself, be you. Just be yourself. There's 7 billion people on the planet. There's going to be a lot of people who like you for who you are and yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm hearing voices from somewhere, and I'm trying to.
Hey, Jeff. Hi, Paul. Sorry, Randy.
No problem. Anyway, yeah, Brandon, I'll be back in Saudi February 12th.
Is this a vacation you're on, or is it a business trip, Randy? Or
I don't know. I was hearing some. Oh, there it goes. It's myself maybe coming back.
Told you it's all that energy, Randy. So.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, I had a similar experience the other day. A friend of mine called me, and he was at the hospital with his wife. She'd been hit by a truck. So I ran to the hospital, and I'm standing there with my friend, and he starts crying immediately. And I asked him what the problem was. And he says, it turns out she's going to live. Sorry, that was a little bit.
I didn't know whether I should laugh there or just step back a little bit and wait for somebody else to laugh.
Yeah, turned out she was going to live. Poor guy.
Oh my, I got to be careful. My wife's actually down there at the moment. That's what I'm waiting on the telephone.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Randy, is this a business trip you're on at the moment, or is it vacation holiday, or?
I've had a home in the Philippines for like 28 years. So I have two homes on the island of Cebu, and my daughter is a medical student here. My son is here. He's a digital nomad living at the house and doing his work. And my wife is here helping my daughter as she's going through medical school. So I've always came to the Philippines a couple months a year, and the rest of the time I'm in Saudi working and traveling.
Sure.
Do you ever go back
And
to
what would
the
the
States
accent
now, Randy?
You know what? The first time I left the States, I was 9 years without visiting. This time I've been gone 8 years without visiting.
That sounds pretty much the same with me. Obviously, I was born and bred in the UK there, but I've got a sister. I've lost both my mother and my father a number of years back now. I lost my brother last Christmas, actually. He died then. I've still got a sister over in Blackburn, but I love to go over and see my sister. I've got a good connection with my sister. I really think a lot of her. But it's just, even though it's only just across the water there, it's a 20-minute, 25-minute flight. It's still all the organization and getting across there. So, yeah.
Well, I always look at it this way. The plane goes both ways. I don't see anybody's ass at my doorstep.
I totally agree, yeah. Totally agree.
If it's so, everybody's so concerned. Why aren't you knocking at my door?
Yeah, yeah. It does work two ways, definitely.
Yeah, I kind of just, I don't know. I've been that way a long time. If you want to see me, come on over.
Yeah.
I don't need to return to your closet because you don't want to leave your closet. I'm sorry.
Randy, in all the places that you've visited in the US while you were there, what's your favorite city, would you say?
In America, I'm an American. I grew up in America. I've been to every city and every state. The best place in America, it depends on what you want to do at the time. There's something good in every place.
But every state's like
I prefer the larger cities. I like New York, Houston, and Los Angeles.
Yeah, I just wonder which you prefer, because obviously you can't really compare a lot of places. New York is very much again a city that uses public transportation all the time, like London. But LA, oh my goodness, if you're seen on a bus or on the subway system, which is now they're still expanding it. It's like for a lot of people, it's a no-no. They'll give the excuse, well, I can't travel on the subway just in case there's an earthquake at that point. But it's well, they've made it earthquake-proof as much as possible. But yeah, I've been lucky enough to travel to quite a few places in the US, and as I say, it's a different experience depending where you are. But would you prefer
different places? Every state is a little different,
Absolutely. Alaska, been there?
No, I have not done Alaska. My favorite, that's the only state I have yet to visit. My favorite place in America is Hawaii, but the cost of living precludes me. I lived in Honolulu for like a year and I enjoyed it. And I always dreamed one day I would go back, but I just didn't go back because I don't want to hustle and I don't want to work that hard. Before I left the US, I was living in Los Angeles area in Southern California. And I really loved Southern California, but I wanted to see the world more. And I just didn't want to be stuck in a little section of the planet thinking, I have to take care of all these things before I can do anything.
When you eventually retire then, Randy, will you retire out to the Philippines or?
Retire, Randy?
I don't really know. I could retire here, but I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I like the Philippines, but there's a lot of things here that just really piss me off.
Yeah. Yep.
How are you when it comes to things like typhoons and that sort of and tsunami warnings where you are in the Philippines?
Yeah, I'm in an island of Cebu surrounded by other islands, so we don't worry about those things.
I recall now you mentioned it. Yeah, I saw the map the other day.
But as I get older, the things that used to make me angry don't as much, like the traffic here. Now that I'm not in a hurry, it doesn't really bother me.
Does the Philippines have a weather system that's quite kind of more tropical? It does, doesn't it? I've seen that from vegetation when you've been driving around.
Yeah,
It seems.
it's always like 80 degrees
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. It's either really humid and hot or really humid and hot and raining.
Yeah.
Randy, can you drop me out a second? I need to take a call.
Okay, we got you on a mute and drop you down. Walt has a call.
Thanks, Walt. Oh, he's
Somebody
gone.
said, how about Nashville? You know, Nashville's a great place, but you know, I grew up, I went to my elementary, my high school, junior high, college. I did everything in Tennessee right outside of Nashville. And like, I've already done that in my life. It's like, you know, where you grow up on the planet, when you leave, it's no longer exists. People forget you grow up at a time and you can't go back to those times in your life. The place and the time are not equally the same, and everybody forgets that. I see a lot of people, oh, someday I want to move back home, but your home's not there anymore. That was an age and a time in your life. That place is no longer there. The time is more relevant than the property.
Randy, you're absolutely right here, because of course this is when we start moving into the realms of live the now, being, etc., right?
It is. So many people get that. I watch a lot of older people, they move back to where they grew up, and then they get there and they figured out, oh my God, this is not where I grew up. It's just not there anymore, you know? The times in your life are today, living in the now. You know, what was there, what was is gone.
Do you know, and I think you've, again, inadvertently hit on something really important right now with COVID. You know, up until a week ago, no one close to me, I hadn't heard of anyone affected by the virus, but literally a good friend of mine, a business associate, he tells me on a Friday that his father has been taken ill, and on the Saturday he doesn't have a father anymore. And I mean, I'm still in shock about that, actually. But this is the point. You know, when you wake up in the morning, live today like it's your last. Speak to the people, you know, and don't go to sleep on a disagreement. You know, sort it out before tomorrow. I feel like, you know, some sort of philosophy coming on here, but no, these are just basic things that have finally, the pennies dropped. It didn't, you know, I wasn't like this when I was 14 years old, 20 years old. But again, I pick a lot of this up and learn from it by listening to people on particularly live streaming over the last decade or so. And I'd like to wish everyone out there well through these crazy, uncharted times and waters that we're living through right now.
This is true. I know so many people that had just passed away. You know, I'm always out of the country. I'm always somewhere else. And sometimes, like, one week I'm checking in with somebody and the next week they're gone. And it doesn't matter if you're old or young. You just never know. I mean, there's been numerous people in my life that just disappeared for the simplest of things, you know, so you never know.
No, and you know, the craziest thing is, well, I hear so many people with health conditions, particularly, you know, senior citizens, who suddenly now, because of their age, they have an ailment and they're regularly visiting the doctor every couple of months or so, if not more often. And of course, they're not happy with that. I say, of course. But then there's people like myself who, thankfully, you know, I haven't had a condition like that, and we just live from day to day. But we're not being monitored. So, ironically, it's those that are having the checkup once every month or regularly that actually, in my opinion, are better off, because they're going to have something identified sooner. Whereas, you know, with myself, if we're just living it like, oh, I'm okay, fine, there's nothing wrong with me. You never know. Tomorrow, again, you might just have heart failure or something. Heaven forbid.
That happens to people every day. Brian was saying, same here. He just found out his cousin is on a ventilator, been in COVID bubble up until now. You just never know who's going to be sick.
I wish him well. I wish his cousin well, because, as I say,
one day and the next day they had the massive heart attack. Right.
I've got a question on that. Hi there, Linda, by the way. She says hi to me. That's Linda in New York, sometimes in, I've got to remember that it's Arkansas. Arkansas. I think it's, I'm going to go with Arkansas. It's been a while. Excuse me?
Mark Compton, what's happening?
Oh, Mark Compton.
He lost his father this Thursday. See, it's the life is hard.
Terrible.
Yeah. Our
How
condolences
old,
to you,
Mark? How
Mark,
old was
and
your
we hope you
father?
make it through it.
How old was your father, Mark? If you don't mind sharing that information. Yeah, Randy, I want your view on this, if you don't mind. Everybody again goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Let's just get real, here in the moment. And we've got our government here in the UK. If you recall, we've got a vaccine, and it was like a lot of people were smiling and happy days. The end is closer to us going through all this crazy pandemic situation. But when it first started, the situation with the pandemic, I said to myself, I think sensibly, okay, the best thing to do is just say everything's on hold until, say, 6 months' time, if not longer, possibly. And sure enough, here we are. Things are still on hold. But the question is, well, the fact is this. Okay, we've got a vaccine. I see that our friend's trying to rejoin us. Is he going to make it?
No, it went out really quick. Continue.
So the serious question is, we've got a vaccine. Now you need 2 injections, so we're told. And I made a mistake on one of my broadcasts, not a terrible mistake, but you have your first injection, the pharmaceuticals and the scientists told us. Then 3 weeks later, you have a second one, and then you should be okay. But remember, this vaccine, there's a small percentage of the population, which is a big number of people over the globe of 7 million. And there's a small percentage, 5%, once they've had the vaccine, it won't actually do anything for them. I think I'm right in saying that. And have you heard news like that, Randy?
It's always that way with all vaccines. It
Thank you.
never covers everyone.
So this is the problem, and no one's speaking about it at the moment. Okay, so first of all, there's two issues. First of all, we understood that you would have a vaccine, and then 3 weeks later, the second injection to make sure, effectively, you're vaccinated. And then suddenly, in their wisdom, the government have now said, because they've got so many people to vaccinate, 70 million in the UK, they've said, right, you have your first injection, but then the second one you will have in 3 months' time. And the reason is, for people like you, Andy, and I, we know that it's to massage the figures. So that in 3 weeks' time, instead of me going back for my second one, they can check another box and say, Randy's now had his vaccination because Martin's already had one. And instead of Martin having the second one, Randy gets Martin's second one as his first. You follow. So the numbers start increasing quicker. So the government are going to be making us, or trying to fool us and think that they're doing a wonderful job and very speedy. Either way, the point is for everyone to be vaccinated twice, it's going to take the same amount of time as it would otherwise. But the point is, though, we've got 5% of the population, I believe, and we'll take the UK as an example, 70 million, and they will not be immune to the virus, even though they have these 2 jabs. So if you work the figures out, that's 3.5 million people in the UK that still will not be vaccinated, even if we all are. Okay. Now, I don't want to sound morbid or out of order or anything, but currently it's about 85,000 people have died in the UK, but that's nowhere close to that figure of 3.5 million. What I'm saying is, if we'd have gone about our daily life sensibly with masks on, that sort of thing, the economy would still be surviving as it was, and we'd be relatively living a, in quotes, normal life. Not that word ever exists, normal.
So
But more,
you're saying herd immunity would have worked out well, and we would have had less deaths.
well, at the moment, I'm saying to you that the true reason that we're all on lockdown here in the UK and the government is worried is just that if everyone becomes ill tomorrow, the system, what I say everyone, it's the system was stretched before a pandemic took hold, right? And that really is it. They're just covering their backsides because, as I say, it really is on the edge of collapse. Every day at the moment is the National Health Service here in the UK. That's why we've got a lockdown on. But as you're right, yeah, I'm saying to you that possibly we could have certainly eased off the lockdown sooner. But again, this is the crux of it, as they say. When we're all vaccinated, how do I know? You, Randy, we're neighbours, for example, literally. And how do I know that when I knock at your door, that you are not one of the 5% where the vaccine hasn't taken an effect. And if I had, and if I'm a carrier, I've now given you the virus. The point is, until you actually know you've been introduced to the virus, you don't know if you're safe. You don't know how you're going to react and respond.
This is true. We
So-
have Ms. K that came up here. Carl Linda. She's over here waiting in the side.
Hey,
Let's get her up
Randy.
here. Let's see
I can
what you have to say exciting. All right. You tell us. We're going to get you up here. Okay. We can only see your head. Let me move you to another
Is
direction.
this better?
Let's
I
see
think
here. Hold on. Let me get you on here this way. Okay, student and writer, where are you? Tell us what's happening in your life.
Okay. I'm
I'm Randy. This is Martin.
year
Hi.
away.
Yeah, thank you. John.
Hey, everybody. I am a student, and I am a year away from getting my PhD degree in forensic psychology. And so, I think forensic psychology is really fascinating. Is different than just regular psychology. It deals a lot with the mind, and it deals a lot with the emotions and what goes beyond that, and so
The
I'm
title
in
is
the
very,
process of writing.
very confusing, though. When somebody says forensic psychologist, I'm thinking, are you studying what dead people think? And who would judge you? That's a joke.
No, Randy. I love your humor.
Thank you, man.
But no, I'm studying forensic psychology like on a criminal level.
Okay.
And I'm in the process of writing a book, and I used to be a former drug addict, and as the gentleman was saying, that you don't know when your time is up, and the people that I used to party with, and stuff, they're all gone, and I'm the only survivor, and so, and then I'm a cancer survivor on top of that, and so for me, I try to maximize my days to the fullest, because tomorrow is not promised.
That's fantastic. You've accomplished more than I think I'm going to be able to do. Congratulations to all your successes and what you're moving forward with. I hope you're enjoying every bit of it, and it's occupying your time in a great way. So how much time do you have left before you finish your PhD?
My degree?
Yeah.
A year away.
Wow, you went through all the trials. What did you do your thesis? What was your thesis based upon?
My thesis was based upon the criminal mind.
Interesting.
I
And I had to write,
Have you published it
I
yet?
had to write I had to put myself into the criminal's position, and I had to think like a criminal.
You absolutely. That's fascinating. I find that, Randy. And is it Kalinda?
Yes.
Great to meet you. I think. Are you suggesting? Obviously, criminals think in a different way, a bit like whether the glass is half empty or half full.
Right. And yeah, that's partially some of it, but they have, it's been proven that there's like a genetic component into criminal psychology.
Right. Which is, point being is why these people do think differently and do act differently, and yeah.
Miss K,
Because their mentality is not the same.
I need to go to the man's room. I shall return shortly. Mr. Martin, Miss Kay,
Okay.
would you mind continuing this beautiful broadcast while I go and
Powder your
talk?
nose.
I'll be right back.
All right.
This is a fascinating topic, though, Carlinda, because again, so many people out in the world. I say so many people, myself included, at one point, and I hasten to add, still am for good reasons. But we're all judgmental. We are all prejudiced. It's the way we're built. It's in our DNA because of hunter-gatherer days. I always say to people, for example, just to clarify that, we have to be selfish, but it's all about intent. And don't get me wrong, this is just, I'm not here, these are just my experiences, and I'm just a logical thinker. But I say this because, again, for example, me coming into this broadcast, if I didn't want to, I wouldn't have done. So there was initially, I think the initial thought process is selfishness. But then you have to ask yourself immediately, why do I want to do that? And in this case, it's to meet people like yourself, and certainly talk with Randy, who I've listened to for a long time and gotten to know. Not that he knows much about me yet, but it's early days. But yeah,
But there's a certain psychology and a certain thought and a reasoning with these people that commit crimes. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
so
You might
there's a certain psychology about it,
Of course, yeah. If you've got a family and you've got no money, you want they're important to you, including yourself. You need to survive and find your next meal. And if that means stealing food, okay, and shoplifting, a lot of people will justify it and carry that act out, and they're used to it after a while, and
right?
Et cetera, et cetera. But it's all about obviously then educating someone that, okay, great. What about the owner now? They've got to close the store. They can't afford these losses all the time. So now there's no store. They can't feed their family or themselves. Can I just point out the comments that you're receiving here on this as well from Scott Reed? No, it wasn't. It was Bella from Bella, Kansas. The question of genetic or environment has and will always be a question. I think it's probably both, isn't it? Both obviously can affect us. Absolutely. And the people we associate with are part of the environment.
Right. And see, that's the whole thing, is that, the people that we associate with, and the places that we go, I mean, we have to, do a self inventory of, well, is this place toxic for me? Is he toxic for me? Or she toxic for me?
Right.
And if they are, then your playgrounds and playmates and your environments
absolutely
around in order to change.
No, I totally get that. Absolutely, yeah. And you use that word, the toxic word, very, very important. Can I just say, while Randy's not here, if everybody is enjoying this content, a lot of time and effort goes into this. Obviously, Randy and people like myself, etc., enjoy it. But could you consider a little award from Randy? I'm sure he's had plenty more happening in the future. But yeah, as I say, that's always a great thing to. And the award will go directly to Mr. Horton himself. Oh, he's about to return. Hey, this is the first time. We can see, can't we? This is the first time this has happened where we've been left here and the host is about to come back. Here he is. I was just saying, Randy,
in the men's room, I had been waiting, and I just had to go.
Absolutely, that's great.
Well, I cannot believe that you've taken the time to do all your things in life.
The thing is, though, is that
congratulations.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Randy.
I love it as well. While people like Carlinda can actually talk about this, and what we were saying earlier, a lot of people would be in the mindset. Certainly initially, if they're coming out of a situation of taking illicit drugs, criminality possibly, and these things. Listen, communication is the solution to many problems. Certainly, I think you'll agree with that, won't you, Randy?
Well, the solution to many problems is fixing your way of thinking and your way of looking at things, because nowadays people are so pessimistic that, there's no room for autism, optimism, and so, and there's a lot of people that that do the black and white thinking, and they can't
Yeah,
think
the whole
anywhere
doom
in
and gloom
between.
thing gets old after a while, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, we need to change our thinking, because not everything and everybody is against us, or or conspiring against us, and so we just need a different set of lenses to look life through a different pair of eyes.
Calendar, did you?
If
Are you a
that makes
broadcaster
sense.
as well as watching other broadcasters on HAPS? Do you create your own content, or I haven't seen anything yet?
No, I watch other broadcasters, but the reason why I like Randy and Randy's broadcast is because Randy is a deep thinker, I can tell, and so he likes to think. He's a deep thinker, and I'm a deep thinker, and so I relate to Randy in certain aspects when he talks about certain issues, because I've been following Randy for a while, and even though I haven't said much, or whatever, I mean, I observe, and that's a lot of people's problems is that they insert their mouth before they insert their brain.
I love it. I need to write that down. Too many people inserting the mouth before the brain. That's excellent.
Engagement.
Because they like to talk and talk and talk, and they don't observe, and see. I mean, I'm a very observant person. I mean, I'll go to the mall and I'll sit there and I'll observe people.
Yeah, but
and
Carlinda, you have to admit, being overly observant sometimes is a burden. It's actually one of the burdens I have. I try to be less observant because I don't know. Things sometimes come to me a lot quicker than they should. It's like when I was in college, I couldn't sit through a college class. I mean, I felt like that I was in slow motion when I understood the whole thought behind the professor's speech. Within the first 3 minutes, everybody gets their point across. So the 45 minutes later, I was bored to death. I even had teachers call me, if you'll just come to class, I will graduate you. I didn't even like to sit in the class.
Yeah, we had someone like that in my class. Who was,
I've got a professor, a lecture class, and this professor, he'll start off with one topic, and then it will branch off in 3 or 4 topics, and then he'll say some stuff, and it's like, what has this got to do with the original topic in the first place?
Yeah, the storytellers who never get to the point. There's a lot of professors like that.
And it's like, I mean, what does this have to do with it? So I don't even hardly listen to them. So what I do is I bring my dictaphone, and I let the dictaphone play, all the way through. And then what I do is when I go to take a class, a homework assignment or whatever, or a paper, I'll just edit, all the rest of the stuff, and I'll leave the stuff out that doesn't have anything to pertain to it,
Randy, I think from what you were saying just a moment ago, are you one of these people who makes excessive use of that 2 times speed button on YouTube when you're watching your tutorial videos?
Yeah, I'm very bad. I can't do tutorial and self-help.
No, but I'm just forever, as you say, I'm just like, it says that it's going to take 10 minutes to learn this.
As in what does that mean, Randy?
That means that when I'm sitting there and listening to the professor or anyone giving a speech, I do a lot of fast forward through the stories that don't pertain to the subject. like you were saying, you know.
Right.
I just cut out those things that I really didn't have anything to do with why I was there to learn something. So I fast forward through many things, even on videos. I'm waiting to get to the point of the story, you know.
The epilogue before the introduction.
You're an empath then. Am I an empath? I don't know what that means actually. What define what I
An empath is that you what it means is that you feel other people's pain and other people's stuff.
Mm.
Well, Brenda, is that what you meant? Hello, by the way, to the Buckeye State there. That's where she is at the moment, along with, I think, well, Bella's in New York. That's how they keep their job, keep coming to classes. Yeah, right. But it's a bit like what we were talking about
I have
earlier
an
on.
older daughter who, from my first marriage, she works as a director at HP in marketing and business. She called me a while back and said, "Do you actually get everything much quicker than others? And does it bother you? And how do you deal with it?" And I said, "Oh my God, I have that problem, that I actually am aware of what's going to be said and what it's all going to sum up and mean too quickly. And how do I slow my mind down when it comes to certain situations?" I recently joined, what's that app called where people are discussing many things? Hold on a second. It's called Clubhouse. And Clubhouse has a lot of speakers and supposedly motivational people, professionals, and they're sitting there talking, and there's a lot of people in the audience. So it's kind of like just an audio-only chat service with a speaker on it. And I find myself just wanting to fast forward quite a bit.
But that's very frustrating, isn't it, Randy? That sort of trait, and
yeah, it's very frustrating.
In fact, you're reminding me of somebody that once said to me, you know, it's about predictability. It drives me crazy, and as I say, after a while, it's boring. They said to me, you know, my husband every Friday brings me home flowers. It's not special anymore. I just expect it now. It's not a surprise. And I'm like, so really? And they were like, yeah, I'd rather it was a bit more unpredictable, and you know, this relationship. So yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah, quit bringing those foul hours. Do something neat. Exactly.
Well, it's just something different. But yeah, I got that point pretty quickly. It's that predictability and regularity can be. It's nice, as I say, when things are. It's a bit like we go back to initially when I joined the broadcasting. We're talking about things going wrong with these things. Listen, I've spent quite a long time working behind the scenes in live television, particularly where we fiber feeds and satellite feeds for news organizations. So if NBC in the US have their reporter in the UK, they've got to somehow complete that link so they can live report back to the USA from London. And I'd be the person that pressed the buttons to do that. It's a bit like a private internet, really, using fiber networks. And you're standing there, sitting there, waiting in case something goes wrong to press the redundancy buttons to make sure that the broadcast doesn't end like it did the other day, actually, Randy. Yeah, but yeah. So that's what we're waiting for.
I don't know. You were talking about the news and stuff, and ever since COVID, I have stopped watching the news that much because all you hear is about COVID. COVID this, COVID that, COVID.
They've tried.
And it's like but it's like depressing to me.
Right. But they have tried in the UK like a good news service before, whether it's on paper or online, and apparently the problem is always the same, that there's just not so much interest. And I get that, but absolutely, I have fatigue listening to the news now. I used to switch it on every day, every evening, the main news bulletin time to listen, but there's nothing new to listen to, really. I mean, and with a lot of this, it's just about fundamentally being sensible, as it always is in life. We've got this new strain now, which they say is much more serious, and you can catch it quicker. And we're hearing, as I was mentioning earlier, someone goes into hospital one day and 24 hours later they're not with us anymore. But people just aren't. Younger people on public transportation, 5 of them on a bus leaving school or wherever the schools aren't open right now, but they're together and like only half of them, 2 of them out of 3 or whatever, have a mask on. They feel because they're young, it's not going to happen to them. There's no middle ground.
Chris Bryant made a statement. The other way around people's attention span is around 30 seconds, and they either move on or fast forward. I call that the TikTok syndrome. I quit using TikTok because I was enjoying it too much. To be honest. Come again?
Is this a comment?
Yeah, it's a comment by Chris Bryant. He was saying that people's attention span can 30 seconds either move forward or fast. And you know what? That's why TikTok is so enjoyable. But I've narrowed it down to 7 seconds when I'm watching a TikTok. If they don't catch my eyeball in 7 seconds, I can flip.
What have you learned from TikTok, Randy?
What is TikTok anyway?
It's where you have around 30 seconds to make something interesting and catch somebody's eye. So, and I've actually, the more you watch it, the more your attention span lowers that time threshold. Now, when I first started TikTok, I would watch the whole 30 seconds. Now I give you 7 seconds to entertain me or I go to the next subject. So it's just really short clips about anything and everything.
Interesting.
And by the way, about you on the news, I stopped TV 5 years ago and I just turned off the TV, and it's been kind of a wild ride with no TV. I found my life to be better off.
Well, as a reminder,
what's going on anywhere in the world, somebody has to tell me.
As a reminder, Randy, that's one of the reasons this platform began, wasn't it? But Mark, is it Goldman, was telling us not too long ago, as well as others, that they want it's citizen journalism effectively, but more specifically, our experiences, we need to share them, because what we were saying earlier, some people need to know that actually what they did wasn't wrong, or the way they're feeling isn't wrong, or they shouldn't feel it's wrong, in certain situations. But and also at the same time, it's great to see people when they're out and about to look at the world through other people's eyes, because we can't all be everywhere at the same time.
I love to see the life and daily things through other people's eyes.
Have you been to London?
I probably go into 100 broadcasts a day. I just want to see your life, what you're doing. And as long as they're real people, I stick around. But the ones that have that, what do you call? I don't know. What do you call? You don't want to call them fake, but the ones that are.
Oh, there are stores now like that, Randy, where you well, again, COVID aside, they're probably shut down, but I can't remember what you call it. They have different rooms, and you go in there and you have your selfie, and it makes it look like you're in the palace, and this is my home or in my kitchen.
Oh, I've seen those.
And you don't live in this. Yeah, and they're big business, and it's an illness as far as I'm concerned. All this selfie taking from young people, they are going to be so disappointed. Do you know the worst? One of the first companies I have an issue is one of the first social media platforms, Facebook, because from the moment they had that button, which is the friends button, I'm like, are you serious? So we're a decade on, and some teenagers now, they were and early 20s, they don't really, or they didn't know what a real friend is, because they've just their friends are on Facebook and they're really just connections, and it's really a fine line there, I think. And there's the psychology that comes into that, and then later on down life in their life, I just hope they're not too affected by it all. But they very quickly, some people realise that isn't actually reality, being on a keyboard 15 hours a day.
I meet so many people that I know in the broadcast all the time. When I'm in Saudi, everybody that I see people all the time at the mall, the grocery, or driving down the street, and we stop and we talk. And I don't know, I see so many people in life. It's kind of funny at times.
I saw that takeaway. That was funny. I couldn't watch for long, but you went to a takeaway. Although you sat down, maybe you were just waiting for the food to take away, or I didn't see whether I don't think I saw you. Maybe had a coffee there, but you were giving them your HAPS card, and it's a 50-50. You've got to weigh it up, haven't you? And you've got to work out, are they going to take offense? Are they going to join in? Are they just going to clam up? But they actually, they went further than I thought they will. They started, when you said, look at yourself on here, or say hi to everyone, they did. And I wasn't too sure whether culturally they'd take to it. Obviously, when you were in the Philippines, this was about 5 days ago.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I throw the camera in people's face all the time. And it's,
I have a
50% is
suggestion
good.
for you, Randy.
Let's hear it. What is your great suggestion?
Okay, so it seems that you have a lot of people that attend your broadcasts and stuff. I mean, why don't you have a meet and greet, over Zoom? You know what I mean? So everybody can meet everybody.
Yeah, I was trying to do that a couple times here recently, but we were having technical difficulties, and somebody did suggest Zoom. You're the second person who's recommended that. And I do have an after hours on Discord, and I haven't really utilized it. Discord is where we all get together and chat and talk and do videos instead of Zoom. So I have a Discord servers where we get together and talk, but I've been kind of lame about it.
It all depends on what your content is that you're creating, and I think that the problem with Zoom is, I mean, perhaps, if you have 6 people, maybe 8 people here, that's kind of like Zoom, but obviously Zoom can accommodate, say, much more. But again, you've got to decide, ideally you want to decide before you hit that broadcast and go live button, what is the purpose? Because often, you don't intend for 5 people to contribute to the conversation, and therefore what happens with Zoom is you've probably got 250 people forget to turn their microphone off, then someone sneezes, or it might be expelled out the other orifice, and so it really depends what you're using the platform for as well. Are you a business? Is it social? But so Zoom has its place, certainly, and in fact a great thing.
I like Zoom. I mean, Zoom is a good tool, especially when you're in college, because during this COVID thing, there are some professors that don't want a lot of people, in class and stuff. So we'll be over Zoom,
But what's better about Zoom, for example? What's the benefit using Zoom rather than what we're doing now on HAPS, for example?
Because you can add a lot more people. I mean, and meet everybody. Not just 3, 4, 5, 6 people at a time, but you can meet like 20 people at a time.
Or I don't know, even if I go into a restaurant or a bar and in a social or a club, talking to 20 people at the same time is pretty impossible. But I sort of understand. But I mean, we can obviously eject people from here, and can't you, Randy, and then obviously introduce a new broadcast, a contributor.
So what I personally have found, when you go over 3 to 5 people, the context and the discussion it slows down. It doesn't increase viewership, it lowers viewership. Most people don't mind interacting with 3 to 4 people. When you get into 5 people, and depending on if somebody in the group is just dull compared to, or they don't have, I don't know, not dull, but when you get a large group, there's always a lot of time consumers that start speaking that have nothing to do with the subject at hand. I mean, here, we're 3, we're able to talk, we're able to keep a legible conversation within a certain topic range. It's like we're sitting here and we invite somebody in, and the next thing they say is, "Hey, did you try the new chocolate brownie?" It's like, what?
Where did that come from? That left hook.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Yeah, I get that sometimes. People just come in and they, oh, okay, chocolate brownies. Thank you.
That's exactly it, Randy. Yeah.
That's funny, Randy.
Yeah, but it happens. It happens a lot,
Yeah, I know. I mean, first of all, I mean, when I'm on people's broadcasts, I listen before I before I request to join or whatever, you know. I mean, so I can be on the same topic in the same wavelength, you know.
Well, you're one of those exceptional individuals. When people never expect that you're the PhD, you've done all these things in your life, and you have a great story that would carry yourself independently beautifully, and you fit good into the group because you've had so many life experiences, and you're still increasing those experiences. I mean, I still admire that you've done all these things through all this adversity. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you, Randy. You know, and I believe that God has done this for me in my life. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I don't know how you feel about God, but I place him first before everything else in my life.
Yeah, my religious views are simple. Yeah, God. Boo, devil.
Right?
That's it. You know, I've been through my religious views at all, and my religious views, whether you're Christian, Catholic, whether you're a Protestant, a Christian, a Catholic, Jewish, or a Muslim, we're all believing in one God and one God only. And anybody
Right.
who tries to cause diversity or arguments between those are not of godly people.
Well, I don't like talking, you know, I mean, I love talking religion and politics, you know, and I've got a dear friend of mine that will sit and we'll talk for hours about that stuff and, you know, agree to disagree, whatever, you know, try to see each other's point of view or whatever, but, you know, or their philosophies or ideologies or whatever. But the thing is that, you know, I mean, I love talking politics and religion, but I'm not a religious person. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a spiritual person, you know?
I hear you. I know a lot of people that go to the realm of a spiritual person.
You know,
Mark,
I mean, religion
what is
is
your God?
man-made
What is your
belief for
God view,
man.
there, Martin?
I didn't hear the question, Randy.
What is your God view?
What is my God view? There's certainly going to be a lot of disappointed people when we finish this journey, because at the end of the day, we all come from the same place. We'll go back to the same place. You must question, obviously, why there are so many people starving on the planet and misfortunate people. What have they done to deserve this life and be born, say, in such a position and have a bad start right from the off? It's not a fair world, is it? And
it never will be.
Right, absolutely. And we don't learn with all the wars going on. You know, every decade it's just round and round and round. And I always get the impression that our leaders, well, these days it's a career. You know, they're only in it for 4 years, maybe 8 years, and as long as they can line their pockets.
We appreciate you. Sorry, Walt's giving us a goodbye. Thanks a lot, Walt.
Oh, that was so
Appreciate you
good.
being up here.
Absolutely, do connect.
See you later, Walt. Have a great day.
Yeah, I saw Walt's broadcast for the first time today, 24th of January. It's still Sunday here. It's Monday there, right? I'm forgetting, Randy. It must be. No. Yeah, it must be early hours there on Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday early morning here.
You see, I keep saying I've got to
Where
take
are you at again, Randy?
Now I'm
Are
on
you
the
back
island of
home yet?
Cebu in the Philippines.
Well, he is home.
In the Philippines?
I'm here till mid-February.
Oh, cool.
And then I'm off to Saudi for a week, and then I'm off to Abu Dhabi after that. Agree. Politics.
So you travel a lot, huh?
Yeah, before COVID, I was always traveling with business, but since COVID, you know, there's not a lot of travel going on.
What was the journey like there, Randy? Because you had to be masked up, and you know, was it okay, or any
I felt
problem?
like I was living Judgment Day in slow motion.
Right.
You know, it was very eerie feeling. You know, the flight was weird.
It was tense, right? It was
setting in. bundling up, landing in Manila and having to get swabbed and tested, and then put into a strange hotel for a quarantine to wait for your results. And it was all very eerie and weird. And everybody's dressed in these anti whatever suits. And I don't know, it was just weird.
Right. Yeah. There was
Was this on a flight then?
This was from Philippine Airlines direct to here. It was, the whole experience was very weird.
That's real weird.
Yeah, and I'm sure leaving is going to be just as complex. You know, it took me September 3 months to get a visa to come here because Philippines is closed to visitors. You're not allowed to come here. So it took me 3 months to get around it.
You still need a visa, even though you visited there plenty before and you've got your home there.
Oh, this is, well, what it is, there's the country's closed due to COVID. They don't want any guests. So you have to prove that your family's here, your home is here, and you have to prove so many things because they just don't want tourists coming back to for any reason.
Yeah.
Spread the disease, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are stuck in Australia. They can't come or go. They're citizens of Australia, and I believe you have to get a special way to even leave the country.
Jeez.
Somebody said, want to hear
Well, I
something
need
new
to
from my
go,
hospital?
Randy,
Just
but
got a text.
it was really nice being here and meeting you finally.
It's great to meet you. It's great to see you. It's great to talk with you. And I wish you fantastic success in your last year on this PhD journey. And I can't believe that you're able to do this and sit through it all. You have more patience than I. I don't have the patience for that. So congratulations that you're getting through it all.
Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
Bye,
All right,
Martin.
bye.
Yeah, great calendar, and stay safe there as well. That was fascinating, wasn't it, Randy? I mean, yeah, someone who's gone literally 180 degrees, it sounds like, in life.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that go out and just, they switch themselves to 380 degrees around, and they're really great high achievers. It's amazing. I know a lot of people that have done that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Great to see you. Good to see you too, Walt. Let's see what we got here. Want to hear something new from my hospital? Yes. What is it? It's about COVID. It's not. If not, it's okay. We want to hear it. Hurry up. Quit making us in suspense.
Right.
Bella,
Maybe
do you want to
join us? Yeah.
Let's invite Bella. We want to hear it. We're going to invite you, Bella. Oh, Bella,
Great.
Bella.
Worst errors, UK closed the borders completely. Yeah, do you know what? Is hit on it. I mean, with respect, Chris, I mean, a 12-year-old could have seen this coming, but we're a year on with the pandemic, almost, Randy, and only now did the UK government decide to close air traffic. I mean, when you don't know about something, you are not out of order to exercise caution and go to an extreme. So long as it depends on the intent again, close the borders immediately and then very quickly, establish, did we need to do that or not? So they're closed for 5 days, 10 days, 3 weeks. And then we reopen again because we realize it was a mistake or not. But don't do it this way round. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I don't know. Trump tried to shut everything down and he was so criticized, he reopened everything immediately.
Yeah, I get that. But again, I think that was possibly one of the few things I can cite immediately when you ask me what's one of the good things that Trump's done. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a terrible man, and too much water under the bridge for me to even remember right now what's been going on with walls being built between Mexico and the US and that sort of thing. But that situation, I think absolutely shut it down immediately until you know what's going on. I mean, you would do that with a water, like there's a leak in your house, right? What do? You go to the main pipe, you turn it off, and then you assess the situation. Is it safe to turn it back on again or not? If it's not, you don't. And if it is, you do. And if there's middle ground there, which is, well, maybe there's a tap further down the line where you can switch it off. Yeah. Because of that
Bella says, I'm not allowed to be seen. What can I do? you can just come up and I
Why?
will not put you on the camera, but we'll hear your voice.
Yeah, and just to make sure, point your camera away from yourself as well. If you
Or turn the camera to the wall.
absolutely, yeah. We don't worry. We won't even begin to think that you look like a bricks and
No, I
mortar.
have a lot of friends that they're in Fortune 500 companies, and it's against corporate policy.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not allowed to be on social media outlets, depending
Yeah.
on what position it is.
There's always a way. Listen, I think you just remind me of something else. You think the link is that there's use a bit of initiative, and often it doesn't take too much thought to actually do something and do it appropriately and in a way that no one will be offended. You're not breaking any rules. The thing is, I used to, particularly in the USA, Randy, I used to ring up companies from Europe, and very quickly I realised there's a different kind of telephone manner. And people would, I'd be like, hello, switchboard, and I'm like, hi there, and who am I speaking with? Oh, it's switchboard. Yeah, but no, who am I speaking with on the switchboard? Oh, we're not allowed to give our names out. Okay, now we don't even need to know why and go into that. But you see, if I was managing that situation, and as I say, I've never been a manager in a workplace before as such for teams, but I would just suggest what you do is, if you, Randy, work for me, but we don't want you giving your name out and you work on the switchboard, just call yourself Dave. And then, and everyone's allocated a faux FAUX name, I think the French call it, or, a false name. And then at least if there's a complaint about you or even a commendment about you, we know, or anything referencing you in a call for whatever reason, we know who you are. You don't need to give the caller that why preempt the thought process.
They do that in America. In the bill collectors, they all use they have an alias that's documented at the company.
They do it now.
Documented alias.
Well, the UK uses a lot of overseas call centres. Ironically, I'm almost forgetting they are in the Philippines.
There's a lot here on this island, actually.
Yeah. But for example, particularly a good example, India, for the funny part of what you just said about how they do implement that strategy. But often I'll call up India or a company, and it'll get routed to their Indian call center, and it's an Asian Indian speaking, and you ask them their name. Oh, my name's Paul, and you just know it isn't Paul. So,
well, most of the companies now have switched all their call centers to the Philippines due to the language barrier and the comprehension. The experiment with the Indian call centers has been found to be a failure. So if you're getting a call from a center there, it's usually unreal and it's some type of a scam. Most companies quit using them due to the customer complaints. And it was just due to the accent.
Mm-hmm. Randy, I don't know how culturally different the Philippines is to the UK or to other Western countries or Europe, but the thing is, I noticed a huge. You can't even compare. About what must it be now? Say 7 years ago, one brand we're all familiar with, Skype. They had their call centers in the Philippines, but it wasn't a great experience when you spoke with someone or chatted with them. But I got to tell you that in 2021, it's incredible, the service. And the other company that I want to highlight, but it's more so to do with the people in the Philippines and doing such a great job there, is eBay. Other platforms are available, but they're very good and understanding there now. And another place on the planet that I've found to be great, Egypt and South Africa for call centers. I've found them very understanding, more so sometimes if I'm dealing with a UK company than the call center that had been or would be in the UK. But yeah,
I enjoy call centers because I like to push the realms of what they're allowed to do. I try to remove the impersonal, and I try to make it personal. And I watch, and with just a short 30 seconds to a minute of casual manipulation, you can actually break down that barrier and script that they're reading. It's not that hard.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do that all the time. Really. Do it all the time. Yeah. And talking of getting personal, Bella's asked, and you've missed that comment conveniently, what do I touch to speak?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of device you're on. The best thing you can do is just say go live, click on go live and then turn your camera the way you want before we
I
put
think
you up?
I think we might need to take a step back and remind Bella that she needs to click on the link. She's on the mobile version, certainly on the app. Don't you need to click on go live and then
Go live, you'll see the link.
Yeah, there's a link in the go live section. Yeah. Interesting. iPhone. Oh, definitely. Then, yeah. Go to your go live section there. Oh, I've
Go to
seen a
Go
bug.
Live, it'll be a place to click that says hello again, folks, from the Philippines. I guess I should change that title, but it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Have you
I'm
seen
a
it?
broadcaster anyway. I do nothing. I never ever do a schedule. I've been random broadcasting for 5 to 8 years, and I just broadcast randomly, constantly. I've never did a broadcast that was scheduled.
Right. Yes, and you never thought about being called Random Randy?
I don't know. I just randomly broadcast when I have time,
Well, yeah,
or when it's convenient for me and where I'm at in the area. I just don't. The other day, somebody said, "Oh, can you please give me your schedule so I can join you?" I didn't respond, and they said, "Why didn't you respond?" I don't have a schedule.
Simple as that. Have you noticed the bug you were saying earlier? We were talking about like where things are on here. It's on iPhone. I don't know about anywhere else, but certainly on your iPhone and on the app. Sometimes like you press, nothing happens on an app or an application on the computer. So you press it again, and maybe 3 times just to make sure. But if you press the profile icon repeatedly or more than once, it then automatically, I think, switches to, I think it's your feed. If you press it again, it goes back to profile. And so what you do, I don't know if you've noticed that at all. Just
oh God, it's so annoying. The delay from when I press to when something happens, I pressed every button on my phone until it finally does something. Yeah, it's tremendously bad.
Yeah, I hope that I'm just trying to understand what it is on the platform. Is it just because they haven't had time to scale and there's been a large influx of people? I think that's partly it, which is why a number of the functions and the functionality has been suspended for new accounts. Like you can only post live video, which is what this is fundamentally focused on. But for example, even my account, I've been on here for at least 3 weeks now, but I still can't post an image. I can't embed a YouTube video, and I can't just put a bit of text on there. So for example, I can't do what you did, Randy, which is announce the new challenge and the $50 challenge, that sort of thing. It's quite frustrating.
I don't know.
So what was that? Sorry?
I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't even ask, to be honest.
Oh, well, I asked, and briefly I was told by Pablo or Peter, I think in one of their chats, that it's a random thing, and in time you sort of will be allowed that access. It's automated or something, but I don't know about that. It seems, I don't know how long because I say, there's a couple of things that I want to sort of promote on behalf of other people that I'll be working with. But,
I'm sure they just have so many other things going on that there's some things that just don't make priority.
Yeah, of course. I don't know how big the team is. I mean, how many people working there? Yeah, I mean, as I say, the team is probably very small. We're talking like you can count them on both hands and maybe both feet. But I think it's very small. I don't know where the developers are for the actual app, whether they're based in Los Angeles.
Good comment. When it comes to Apple, they require a much more secure level for approval of the app. Sure, they do. It's actually quite complex. I don't understand why the screen is blank sometimes, and it takes a while to recover.
I'm assuming that.
I've seen it many times. I don't know. I don't have an explanation.
It's great to see Chris and Martin, my namesake there. They're based, without me even looking further, I remember, I think they're certainly near the Canadian border, if not in Canada. And they're definitely the Doctor Who fans, because that's what hit me immediately, just being a stone's throw away from a store that they would revel in, the Doctor Who store, which I did think about visiting sometime in the not too distant future, and I'm sure they're very well aware of it, because I seem to recall this is the couple that met at a Doctor Who convention, and they don't look like they used to when they met, right? Remember that one, Randy?
It always happens. Yes, I remember that statement.
But it's great to make their acquaintance. But also, again, originally I wasn't. I think it's a female Chris, isn't it, Christine? Or
Chris, they're in
yeah,
Toronto. Hello, what's happening
they
in
are in
Toronto?
Toronto. That was it.
I
Yeah.
would get you guys
Lovely.
up, but I'm going to be ending in a couple of minutes. It's like
Okay.
3 a.m. for me almost. Even though I have
Randy,
nothing
how
to
do you
do.
do this? You're on overtime.
I have nothing to do. I'm not sleepy, and I'm on a holiday. So, but I may just end here real soon.
What's
you know?
what's happening later today for you, or for me it's tomorrow? But on Monday morning, what will you be doing early when the sun rises?
Me, I'm going to run across town to my other house. I'm having a new fence and a new gate put in a house that I have there. And that's about it. I don't have a lot going on. I'm doing a little bit of having some housework done. I'm hoping to find some land in the mountains. I want to build a new house, but I need to find a deal. I only buy or make purchases in distressful situations. I never buy something for the price that it's made to be bought for. I only look for distressed property, something that there's an issue, there's a reason, there's some reason nobody else can overcome, and that's the one I want.
Right. So
I've always done that.
well, so long as it's got a good internet connection, then you're onto something.
Yeah, so I want to find at least about a hectare of land that is near a street that has a place where I can get connected. So, but I want a really good bargain. So there's a lot of things. It may not even happen this trip. You never know. Just because I get an idea, it may take a year or two just to finish this, to do it the way I need to do it, you know? I'm very picky about something. I have to really get a bargain.
Well, you were talking finances briefly the other day when you were saying how borrowing money is ideally a big no-no. Yeah. But isn't it fascinating, by the way, how you know, you might be earning a certain salary, and then when you have either a promotion at work and your salary increases, or you find a job that pays better, isn't it funny how suddenly your disposable income still doesn't increase?
Mine does. I actually decrease spending, and I cut my life down a little bit every year. Every year I spend less, I conserve more. I'm valuing my time versus the money more and more every year. When I was younger, I thought time would never end. Now I realize the time will come to an end, and there's so many years that you can be vibrant in your income, so don't waste them. Yeah, no, I totally have that. I've had that experience recently myself as well. The penny dropped a few weeks ago, and I'm like, "Whoa!" Well, I always know we're not getting any younger, but no, it is. I mean, as I said to you at the beginning of this, when I joined the broadcast, you know, pandemic is putting a lot of my plans on pause because, again, covering live events for video, there's events non-existent at the moment. But you might ask, of course, there is the other part of the business which imminently I'm working on, which is virtual meetings and this sort of thing. But I'm very keen to speak with people who, I mean, ironically, now is the time, a good time rather, when the economy is not great, to start a new business. But an online, anyone that's not, I'd say, well, at the moment, you've got to be thinking viability online. You always should be for any business. But yeah, those sort of people I'm hopefully going to be speaking with via HAPS and helping them understand, if they already understand, great, but to build their community and let people know what they, you know, Bobby Bicker. I remember when she first started, I couldn't believe how many years ago it was when I was reminded. I haven't followed her constantly with various things going on in my life and certainly on the personal side, but she does some great creation when it comes to being artistic, as you know, Randy. And then we've got people. Yeah, I know Bobby, great lady.
Yeah. And look how she's built a community and an interest because she, she's showing what she's great at. Like, and everybody has something they're great at, even if it is talking about on a certain topic or writing a book, as our previous guest was telling us about there.
I think there's so many places that are in lockdown and they need help. You're a live video producer. I think you need to come up with a 600 quid package to show the churches how to get online and spread their sermon to their people and supply them with the equipment necessary, what you call the simple package, gold package, and diamond package.
We
So
have
you're
equipment overload here.
500 quid to 2,000 quid, and you sign up people and you start helping the churches broadcast. They're in need and they're trying to get the word out, and they have their congregation at home now, and they're ready to pay you.
No, absolutely. A lot of churches, a lot of houses of worship are doing this. They've been doing it for a long time. Again, certainly in the US. And of course, I'm very starkly reminded by your titles flashing there about yourself of the Philippines. They're big on this sort of thing over there as well. Certainly, Davos, I think, is where a lot of programming has come out for many years on a religious and level, and for people and faith.
I'm talking for the community churches and their local congregation being able to go to church online. As far as the ones that I see around the world in third world countries, not to put black pudding on the face of the religious people. 99% of them are con artist scams, taking money on the backs of the poor and handicapped.
And the people need, people that are in a time of desperation and feeling low, and they're actually trying to, they're entrusting another party to, because as I say, if you've suffered loss again at this time, COVID is taking far too many people, as well as obviously other diseases, cancer. Even
the orphanages in Cambodia, they didn't have enough children. So they would go to the local community and tell them they would feed and educate their children for free to fill up the orphanage so they could do tours. Right. Make them look like they're caring for the orphans and to collect more donations. And that's so rampant. I didn't know how bad it was. It's ridiculous. This guy is driving to work in the most expensive car in town, living in the best car in town. And he's supposedly the local help person, It's like, wait a minute, you're living like 500 pay grades above anybody who's in your ministry.
Yeah, food for thought there. That's a subject for another broadcast, it sounds there, Randy. Yeah, I'm certainly going to be looking back at this because I'm using I'm not using a desktop here. I'm using a laptop, an Apple. But I notice all the time your motion. Obviously it's well lit there, but you don't have any sort of jittery problems at all. I shared with you that information about Speedify.com when we originally met. And I was chatting. Well, it's crazy. It's only a few hours ago. Everyone was in, but that's great.
Look into it. It's Sunday. Maybe tomorrow we'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Just we can download.
Plug in on my Ethernet cable into my router to a fiber backbone. So I don't think I should have any problems today. It's just what I'm out about.
Absolutely. I think the problem that I have here though isn't internet. I think it's the CPU usage, and I'm just concerned that it is so high for this app because I've used other services and it isn't as power hungry on the CPU. But I've got to do a bit more testing, as I say, so to speak. But one thing's for sure, as I said, I'm using Apple, and it is a fact that Windows machines. I'm assuming you're using a Windows machine there, Randy.
Yeah, I'm on a very high-end MSI gaming laptop. And my CPU is at 140 megahertz. I've got an i9 processor. I've got a 16 gigabyte. 2070 video card, and my camera is a Sony ZV-1, and my microphone is the Antelope Audio Edge Go. Yeah, so I'm running like what $5,000 worth of stuff.
Absolutely. Is the ZV-1 the one of the latest cameras from Sony that was made as a blogging camera? I think it is.
It was, but you have to spend, after you buy the camera, you got to spend another $300 in equipment to make it work.
Yeah, did you get the zoom the handle? They did a nice little handle with it, didn't they? Like a selfie stick.
Had to buy, what did I buy for it? The UU rig case. I had to buy the Joby tripod. I had to buy the wide angle lens. I had to buy HDMI to USB-C, all sorts of nonsense.
Right. You've answered a big question there, though, because as I say, as a streaming professional, if I say so myself here, we've got a lot of, plenty of equipment waiting for those events to begin again. But trying to replicate what you're doing yourself in terms of well, as I say, your machine, your computer, that explains a lot. So we're working on that at the moment here. But you're familiar with Live View, are you? You know, the old Live View Solo, and a lot of people live streaming.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to show
Sure.
you something.
Oh, yes. The richest man is the Pope, according to Bella. Really? All right.
Who is?
The Pope, apparently. Well, I see what she means, I think, when it comes to everyone contributing to their church on a Sunday and putting coppers in the boxes. Did you read what I wrote? Yes, I did. Yes, yes, that's fantastic. I even announced it before I read that comment. Holly, no, please do. Please follow. I was all the time I've been on here. I've been trying to look at my profile and other people's just to see. You know, it's very tricky when, as I say, I don't want the machine to fall over. I've noticed throughout this that my frame rate has been just awful. Points, and the camera resolution then drops as though I'm on dial-up or something. If everyone remembers that.
I won't let me share my screen right now.
Right. But yeah, absolutely. Do
Hi,
follow.
I'm Indy. Sorry if I'm missing comments. I was stuck with a screen over my screen. I couldn't see. As a litmus paper, my hospital has shields that have something on them that will change the color that indicates the virus. Okay. So that was the exciting news. I missed that. All right.
I see that. That's right. She was talking about comments a few further back. I got you, but my hospitals. Yes. Yeah, you see, that's another thing as well. I mean, this wearing. We'll have to keep it brief, but again, it's a whole conversation. I mean, you're wearing a mask. There are some people out there. Their eyes more to understand what you're saying. So was there any thought given to that sort of thing? Of course, yes, you can wear a shield instead of a mask, and that's one option. But yeah.
Here you have to wear both, shield and a mask.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, when you go into a shopping mall, you have to have a mask on and a plastic shield. Ours are in the car.
But outside, if you're in the street?
Some areas are shielded. Some people should wear a mask. Mm-hmm. It's illegal not to wear one, but depends on your level. You know, I see people in the poor neighborhoods. They just don't
as
care.
You know, Randy, it's all about being sensible, as it is at any time on this journey we call life, and being mindful of others as well. And yeah, we were always told from the beginning that wearing a mask was more about protecting others from the droplets that are. But you know what? Just on that as well, doesn't it just show you how dirty us human beings have been for all these years, and no one's ever thought or had the courage to bring it to our attention for whatever reason? Why? Well, they wouldn't want it in restaurants. They wouldn't want you to know in restaurants that the table 3 away you're actually being served your meal sort of indirectly as you enjoy it.
Yeah, but I believe we have to ingest a lot of bacteria and diseases to become healthy people. You know, if you grow up in a bubble and then you walk outside the first time, you're going to die.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. If you were so clean, sort of lab clean, you wouldn't survive a day in the world. Exactly, with all the pollution out there. Totally. Yeah, as you were saying,
you got to get poisoned with the food a few times. You've got to get the stomach sickness. You got to go through all these things. It's just the way you say, you know.
Absolutely.
All right, Mark, we're going to end
what are you going to share? Oh, I thought you were going to share something on your screen, something else.
But yeah, one more time.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Let's see here.
I hope it's not a llama.
Why am I getting presentation error every 1 second?
It could be. Don't forget, it could be a little glitch in the system as ever. It's so unfortunate. I just feel that it is unstable all round, and I never had that problem with Periscope, Randy, or other platforms.
Periscope had their fair share of problems, believe me.
It did, absolutely, but again, there are platforms, and they've launched. I mean, I don't know if it's been said by the tech team, if we're in a phase here where some of us might be expecting too much, and just tell me that, and I'll totally be understanding. But I don't read anything along those lines. It's it's certainly a few teething problems. By the way, Randy, something just happened on my computer before I don't have the opportunity to ask. It's like a horizontal line that suddenly just blips on there, and you don't know whether it's the overall machine, is it the browser, or is it actually the tab and the fact that it's the HAPS app. Now, I've spoken to a couple of people who have said to me that they've seen it when they're broadcasting. Have you seen it on your machine at all? Just a very quick
What, the
blip.
HAPS logo thing that kind of flashes quickly?
No, it's just like a tear that goes like it's like a horizontal bar that just very quickly flashes.
Yeah,
It's either
it either
black
flashes or it gets bigger. It depends on what's going on. It's a slight connection error, I guess. I don't know. I've seen it happen.
But you have seen it. Okay, I just wondered because if you've seen it on your machine, then there's no problems.
Yeah, Chris and Martin said it's a beta app. Yeah, I remember Periscope in the beginning. I couldn't even broadcast from the Philippines. I had to stand on one leg, hold on to a tower, and swing in a circle off of a pole to broadcast. It was terrible.
Sure.
I think I did when the first month Periscope was out, I did like 4 broadcasts and I gave up. It was so bad.
Right. But our guest earlier was mentioning, she said that as well, that when we were talking about what I was going to say, Zoom and all these different technologies, of course, are available, but the key thing, when you finish your Zoom call, that's it. In terms of Zoom, when you finish, it's gone. Whereas here, it's on a timeline. It's a blog timeline, and it's not just video. And that's the key thing I think that's going to make this successful. And these guys know it, is that it's a social. It's social. You see, to me, YouTube still isn't that social. People now chat on YouTube, but it's just more to watch video on in my head, and that's what I use it for.
Yeah, that's
Facebook.
true. I have some live YouTubes. I'm streaming there now, and we get a few people in and out. But most people are looking forward to produced videos, and I haven't taken time to do that lately.
Well, you're doing great here. This has been fantastic. I think it's time for you to get some sleep soon, right?
I'm doing all right here, but I still don't see the scalability. I mean, there's an absolute border you reach, and I can't get around it. There's a wall. Right. You'll never make more than $1,000 a month broadcasting live, and I don't know why. All right, Bella, you can talk, and I won't put you on the screen. Let's see if we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yay!
I can hear you, and only I can see you. Nobody else can see you because you're in the outside, so I didn't put you in the public screen.
Oh, I don't know what you can see. I have the camera pointed. There's a reason you can't see me. I'm a supervisor. I run part of a hospital in New York City, and part of my contract is never to speak to the public, to newspapers, and now, of course, with all this online stuff, because they don't want us to develop a relationship with anyone outside. They don't want us to represent New York City or the hospital. And they don't want people to feel they have a friend in me other than in a medical profession.
Yeah, my wife is the same way. She doesn't want people to know we're married.
Oh.
I'm joking, by the way.
Go ahead. I'm married to my husband, trust me. But I am telling them little by little that I am going to leave within 2 years. I think so. 1 year to 2 years.
So what's this exciting news you want to share with us?
Well, I'm on call 24/7. And they did text me, and they said they have confirmed that they can isolate the viruses, specifically COVID and this new virus that they keep talking about is probably detected. That when I show up to work tomorrow, I'm to go straight to our, human resource where we have our environmental control and pick up a specific mask. And this mask, when I sometimes have to interview people on a one-to-one basis, will detect the virus with these people speaking to me so that I don't get infected, and then I can do something with them, that they can go straight to a different department or a building within my facility.
So there's a mask with a layer on it that detects.
Correct, like a litmus paper.
Right. And they have peel-off layers, just like the race car drivers.
No, you'll have
No,
to
it's
turn
a
that.
one-time use.
Yes. Every time that I'm called to deal with specific situations, the mask must be changed. You cannot reuse it because that's also, and there will be gloves and bags, sanitary specific bags that these masks have to be entered into, because that will be part of the proof that the person that you spoke to has this situation, or that you can continue with the next patient without infecting them.
Wow.
You understand? So that's a really big deal. Understanding medicine, that is a really big deal, because once you isolate these type of viruses, then you're able to control it. You're able to give better vaccines. You know that the flu virus that everyone was given this year is the virus that we had last year, because there's no way of knowing how a virus will morph. That's what everyone is still speaking about.
Well,
That
it's
the
done that
virus,
already, hasn't it? It's done that
yes,
in
it has.
Brazil, South Africa, and the UK, apparently. Although we don't know if it's originated. They think
Well,
it has, but yeah.
we're not sure, but I do have a little bit of an in. My daughter is engaged to a South African, my elder daughter. She's engaged to a South African. And from what I've spoken to, his father is in medicine, or his mother. I forget. I think it's his mom. And she has told me, and he has told me, that 3 people in their specific family have the virus, and it is rampant in Africa. And it's not being put forth that how bad it is in all parts of
The third
Africa.
world, yeah.
Well, some
Well, I'm
places,
sure they don't have testing. They're not going to test millions of people.
no,
And
they're
I
not.
would
But no
say
one,
most places are not testing at all.
but no one's
We're
talking about
testing.
that part of
New
the
York
world.
City, the United States is doing a very good job. I can only speak for my facility, which is a New York City. You know, all the sister hospitals and everyone here. We have a protocol for every emergency area. And listen, my hospital can't take care of all Southern Brooklyn. We can't. We physically can't do it. Even though we have already hired outside phlebotomists to, to do these inoculations. Today, from last night, the latest news was New York City had no more virus vaccines, but
Vaccines.
we had none. But we were holding vaccines for the secondary inoculations, like I'm taking. Those have to be promised to us, because if you do not take that second virus vaccine, it's almost useless the first, because you must build up that immunity. You must build up that antibody in your system. If you wait too long, which is only to be 3 to 4 weeks, further, I know England, I was told, is doing longer. I think that's only
3 months,
because,
Bella. 3 months.
yes, I'll tell you why.
Disgraceful.
It's really a government thing, not a science
Yeah,
thing.
we said this earlier. They want more boxes checked, and they want to massage the figures of the number of people that have been. They want to say, "Hey, we've got double the
Yes,
number of people vaccinated." Yeah, we said this earlier.
Uh,
Absolutely.
Give me one
yes.
second. I'm going to grab another coffee. I'll be right back. But I'm
Right.
listening. This is a great conversation. Please don't stop.
Well, we'll wait for you, I
No, I'm
guess.
with you on this, Bella. That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not a liar. I really do run a hospital. I run,
Right. Oh,
I
it's
run
fascinating.
I'm in charge. I'm in charge of an ambulatory hospital. I worked in a small, what you would think smaller. It's smaller within my division of hospitals in New York City.
Right.
Then I
But
speak multiple
it's
languages, and I've been in this profession over 30 years. I know I sound 22. But I've been over 30 years, and I've run different parts of that hospital. They now have transferred me and given me a bigger position, great raise, but a bigger responsibility in a twice, if not 3 times as large of a hospital. I am in charge of the ambulatory division. Ambulatory means you have not been physically in my ER and said you must stay. I'm an ambulatory, which means you come, you get your triage, you get your diagnosis, we figure out what meds or whatever you need, and you leave, and we follow up with you. Specifically, if you have been tested for different viruses, we'll call the big one COVID. So we will
Right.
follow you. We will also follow you with the CDC. I weekly have to fill out a survey with the CDC. Every week I am followed. Every day I am tested for COVID. And it's because of my contact all the time with the hospital. I'm in an upper echelon within the hospital because I live by myself. My children are grown. They're gone out of the house. I really am not supposed to at all go shopping, visit with friends, or be in the public. I leave at very odd hours and come home at odd hours so that I, at any time, upon need, am called back to the hospital.
Right.
You understand? Because I'm called, like what they would say is I'm clean. I actually do not see people anymore, except in my facility who have been checked. And this is a big deal when they say that I can get a shield. So if somebody comes through the ambulatory division and needs to, a supervisor, there's all kind of reasons people have to see me. And if they really have to see me, I'm not supposed to have contact. I am not supposed to have one-to-one contact at all with any patient, only on the phone. And if they have to see me, the shield is a great thing. That means they're isolating the virus better. That means they're getting a grip. The reason that England is doing this, and I'll tell you medically, is also to lower the amount of hysteria and chaos. If you can give 100 people the inoculation, you don't have people banging down your hospital because you really only have 50 vaccines. And if you get at least 100 people, we're using that as a figure. If you can get 100 people vaccines at least once vaccinated, you have some kind of protection, better than none. And by putting that greater distance between the second vaccine, I believe that some people, maybe, in my opinion, medically, you may need a third.
Wow.
You may need a third because you're putting too much. This vaccine is very strong. I myself got a small reaction. I have asked everyone in my division if anyone had a reaction. We answer weekly to the CDC. My phone is hooked up to so much stuff, and I'm so not, you can tell I didn't even know how to do this thing. Everything is already always docked. Just don't touch it. We'll be right over there.
Now, have you been vaccinated already?
Yes, I was vaccinated over a month ago. That's why I changed my profile picture in HAPS. I don't know how to do it in Periscope. My kids did that for me in Arkansas. And they put the dog's picture up. I don't know. I probably could ask someone, but Periscope's going. So I know how to do the thing. People are coming in that I can get vaccinated. That sometimes, all right, there could be a language barrier. So they will call me down to speak to these people if we don't have a phone interpreter. But people are believing. Where they get this idea from, I don't know. Voodoo. That they think that the vaccine will change their DNA. They think the vaccine will lower their resistance to other things. They think that the vaccine can cause them terrible harm. Oh, if I take
There's
this
a big
vaccine,
paranoia about vaccines. There always has
it
been.
really is. It really, you can't believe how many times they go, get Bella to come down here. I cannot spend my time with this one. She needs to be vaccinated. And she's going, especially, when nursing homes are bringing some of their, ambulatory people. people that can walk. They bring them to our facility because it's cheaper to come to my hospital than to get a few phlebotomists over there and give them vaccines. Now, New York City is now allowing specific pharmacists all over New York to inoculate people, which is going to be a tremendous help, because those emergent care facilities that have popped up everywhere. I go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning and I see lines and lines outside. There's so much hysteria, paranoia, and not enough education out there to say, calm down, let us, the professionals, do our job. We're not going to poison you. Take it. There's no proof you won't still get it. That's a big fallacy also.
Yeah, but Bella, with every vaccine, there's always paranoia. If you look throughout history, when we had the sugar drop polio vaccine,
I was going to say,
now today we have people with polio because they wouldn't eat the sugar cube. I mean, that happens around the world. It always has.
My family are friends with the Salk family. No joke. We are friends with the Salk family. And when Dr. Salk came to where we lived in our communities, because I was originally from upstate New York, and they came to us, the Orthodox people, I'm Orthodox Jew. And when they came to us, and he was Jewish and everything, they were very, very against it. What happened? My cousin and 2 other young people, of course, they're older than me. I wasn't, alive when that happened. My sister's 12 years older than I. My cousin got polio. When they saw what happened to people in the community, that's when they started taking these sugar pills. It was.
Yeah, I know people in different remote areas of like Jordan and other third world Middle East countries, I will say, that they refuse to do it. And they have a percentage of people that have polio. Yes. And this was probably 40 years ago, but now they realize, take the sugar cube.
Yes. Well, this is what's happening. I think it has a lot to do with the way the virus came and they publicized, the hospitals are overrun. There are people dying everywhere. The medical people are overwhelmed. That we have trailers outside with refrigerators and freezers. It was so exaggerated. Yes, it was. I'm not saying it wasn't terrible. In my hospitals, I did have refrigerators outside because we were overwhelmed in the morgue. And the morgues couldn't handle the virus hit New York like a sucker punch, okay? We were not prepared for the aggressive reaction of this virus to the amount of people, how it spread. I myself lost 3 colleagues to this virus because we didn't have the proper PPE. We didn't. And we didn't have enough of it to change. Just like you asked me, what's going to happen to my mask that I'm going to take and I'm going to give to my staff, which is a couple of 100 people. We're going to change it, and I'm going to tell them on a routine basis, even if your mask doesn't have droplets that change color.
Dean pointed out that science through decades of seeking government grants has become politicized.
Yes.
Yeah, it has quite a bit. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody, says, Cuomo did the best job and everything. He must have had a lot of time on his hands writing a book about how wonderful he was. I didn't have enough time to come home. There were days that I slept in my hospital so that I could rotate with people who had to go home. That's why I was saying I'm on a different category than some of the medical people. I don't have a pet. I don't even have a plant. I can sleep in the hospital, and I do a lot, especially when it comes to these crazy winters, because I'm a widow, my children are gone, and I don't have any obligations here. I'm close enough to the hospital where they have, and they will still, send an ambulance for me to bring me in, to keep that hospital going. I don't.
You did just now put out that you're single, you're a widow, and you're employed in the medical field. Are you
Yeah.
inviting invitations for
No.
proposals, or is that
No,
not a
nobody wants to live in Arkansas.
I think Arkansas is a pretty nice place now. Come
I
on.
do too. That's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna live there and nobody's gonna know me. I mean, they can get a cut and I'll say, maybe I'll put a Band-Aid on you. But no. Nobody, when I go to Arkansas, the only thing they know is, hey, that New York lady, she sounds funny, huh? Like crazy. Randy, you know how the South is. Do you know that when I used to drive into Arkansas, people used to look at my car and they used to go, you really from New York City? And I
You
go,
from
no,
New
I
York.
stole these plates. Yeah, I used to get my gas at Kroger's. And they used to always look at my car because I had my New York tags. Now
They thought you were a
changed.
foreign person?
What?
They thought you were foreign from
No.
overseas? Oh.
No, I have to explain. When you go to different parts of the South, it's a big deal when you say New York City. It's
Right.
a big deal. New York City? They
Yeah.
think everybody lives in big buildings and are millionaires and they're just rich. A lot of people in the South, especially, I've helped people in the Ozarks and a lot of other places where I volunteer when I vacation, believe it. I vacation and I still do my medicine stuff. They only know New York City from movies, from TV.
Yeah, I used to drive out in the 90s, go and visit my family in Nashville. I was living in Los Angeles. And I like to do the drive across the country. And I'd show
I
up
tend-
like outside of Nashville with my California plates, and everybody's trying to look in the car. What are you trying to look at me for, man? I grew up here.
Exactly.
You used to
But,
travel across
also,
interstate 10, Randy?
yes.
No, I would take 40 from Nashville.
Oh, to LA. Okay.
You take 10 if you're down in Houston or in Louisiana. But if you're midway, you could take Highway 40.
Right.
No, in the South, New York City is a big deal.
Yes, it is. It still is. It's kind of funny.
So tell us this then, Bella. If you live in New York, where is a big deal?
What? It's a big deal living in New York?
No, you said
No,
no.
if you live in New York, what's a big deal for you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I've lived in Europe. Nothing. I've lived in Europe. I've lived all over the world. I've volunteered. I started my medical career in Israel. I started my medical career in Israel when I was in the service there for 2 years. Now my daughter is finishing up her service. And, she's engaged now to the South African soldier. I've lived all over. And it is nothing. You know what? When I found Arkansas, when I traveled, I've been to all the states also. And I've been to Alaska and Hawaii. I have friends there because we go to a lot of medical conferences and all kind of things. I've just been everywhere. I was homeschooled. We traveled. I came from an unusual family. And when I went to Arkansas and I met people, I said, it's quieter here. And the people were so welcoming, and the whole atmosphere was so nice. And I saw what the college was, and I saw just the environment. I'm telling you the truth. I said, take me to a real estate place. I'm buying a house.
Oh, that's great.
And I just, and all of a sudden I just found, you would know, I don't want to say where I live in Arkansas, because then I'll have people banging on my door. Who knows? They just have to go to the town and say, where does that New York lady live? Everybody knows me.
That's
and so does Randy's audience now.
South is you have to, if you don't say hello, it's like criminal.
Criminal. I sit on my porch.
You better say hello to a stranger and wave at them. Even
Hey.
driving down the road, if you don't wave when somebody waves, they'll want to know who that butthole is who moved in town.
You got right. You're right. When I moved in, when I moved in, I tell you the truth, where I live, I probably don't know, not even half, less than a third. They just know that if anything happens, they'll probably ring my bell. But I mean, like they need help medically. So, but in Arkansas, when I moved in, I had all kind of these ladies. We were all staring at them, me and my kids. They came over and I said, hey, Hey girl, you need any food? We brought this casserole. I made this bread this morning. I was like, is it poisoned? What are they doing? I was like, oh my gosh. And I have a houseman, that's somebody who takes care of my property. And he's from there. And right away, Mark was going like, they're just being neighborly. Take it and say thank you. I said, do I have to bring her something after? People come over. If I sit on my porch, every hand goes out and goes, hey girl, how you doing? And I'm so, hey, me too.
In Ohio, it's a big deal too. Yeah, the South is that way, man. If you're not sociable, don't move to the South because your neighbor going to come up and beat on your door.
Yes. Oh no! I went out and bought all kinds of fruit at the in River Market when they had that big fruit market. I went out and bought it, and I had my kids deliver it to everybody with a thank you card.
So in the South, the word privacy has been scrubbed from the dictionary.
No,
yeah, if you're private, you're kind of doing something bad. Why are you private? What's your problem? What are you hiding? Are you a criminal?
If it's your business, it's my business. Yeah, right. Yeah, everyone's entitled to my opinion.
Just that way.
Yeah, very, very, very friendly, very nice. Everybody knew my daughter. Everyone. They called her Yorkie because we speak like this, we have this New York accent. I probably have it more than them because, it's just the way, I've been here. So in the hospitals, we speak so hard to each other.
Bella?
But, it's unusual. The South would be very.
Brenda wants to have lunch with you, Bella.
What?
It's going to be a long lunch.
Brenda says I need to have lunch with you.
Just hear me speak.
Just a pee.
Just to be with you.
A very long lunch. Listen, Bella, when are you going to be starting your broadcasts up?
I don't know. What do I broadcast? I walk. People are so surprised. I live on the beach here in Brooklyn. I live in a fishing village.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
I live on. Randy, you saw where I lived one time. I broadcast.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That means that if you're in Brooklyn, so you're in Brooklyn. What? You're in Brooklyn. You're in Brooklyn, so you're close to Coney Island.
Yes.
Right. I haven't been down there yet. Right.
I don't live in Coney Island. I live near it, and this is so multicultural. Multicultural.
Right.
But
I love New York. Every time I had to work in the city, when I go up to New York for a few months, I people have a wrong impression. Even I enjoy New York. Going out to Long Island and the beach areas, people's friendly and nice, and I really enjoy New York. I get the opposite opinion of everyone else because I think people there are friendly also. So the South is more nosy.
You know what, Randy? Let me tell you, you'll understand. When you go shopping in a store here in New York, they look at you and they watch you because they think you might steal. Not me because I'm white and I'm an older woman and, I don't know, maybe the way I dress, who knows? They don't watch me, but I know they watch people. When you go to the South, as soon as you open that door, they go, welcome, hey, if you need any help, I'm right here for you. Don't you worry. Just call out. My name is, Mary Lou, whatever, Josephine, Christine. And they're telling the truth. Because as you're looking or whatever, they'll go, you need me, I'm here, girl. And I'm like, oh, this is so nice. I couldn't believe it. In the supermarket, they bring your groceries out to the car and put it in the car. And I go on that I-30. I get turned around sometime. And these boys, I had somebody, no joke, in the parking lot. I told this guy I didn't know how to get home. I felt like I was 5 years old. More than 14 years of university over here. And I went on I-30 and I went to a different Kroger's and I got lost. I couldn't remember how to get home. And this man drove me all the way to my house for real. And he said, anything I can do, you can. And he wasn't trying to pick me up. He had a wedding ring and everything. And he just says, if you ever get lost, just ask someone. And I went, all righty. I was like, oh, God, this guy knows where I live. And Mark said, of course, ask someone. You're not in New York. That whole mentality of New York goes right in the garbage can over there.
Yeah, you don't need a map there. If you know somebody's name, all you got to tell them, I'm looking for Bob. He's 5 foot, black-headed guy. Oh, Bob. Yeah, he's married to Josephine. He's got a kid named Mark. He lives about half a block down there at the old, remember where the old church used to be? No. Well, it's right near where they closed the Dairy Queen. No. Okay, follow me.
Exactly. Do you know, for real? I when I bought my property, I didn't know. I thought I was doing Mark a big favor. Me and the girls went out and we started trimming hedges. I got poison ivy, poison oak, and chiggers. We don't have chiggers in New York.
Yeah, chiggers suck.
I had all 3. I walked into the ER and I said, this is what I think I need. And the lady says, how do you know those medications? I didn't want to say anything. So I said, well, I think I need to see urgent care here, somebody in dermatology. This guy came out and when I started to speak to him, he said, you're a doctor. And I just went, well, we won't go there. I just don't know what all this is. He says, girl, you have chiggers. Let me show you. You came all the way from New York to roll around in our hills. And he showed me all the plants on a screen on the computer of not to touch.
Yeah, chiggers, and the further south, they start calling them no-see-ums.
Oh, what do they call them?
No-see-ums.
Oh, my house has chiggers.
Yeah, chiggers and no-see-um, it's the same animal. You can't see it, so they call it no-see-um.
Oh, you should see. People came by. Yeah, when I went to the store to buy that Chigga X stuff and this other antibiotics that I wanted myself and the kids on, people came up to me and said, girl, you got bit by you got chiggers. And they said, put your feet in bleach. Before I got out of Walmart, I must have had 30, maybe more, of just people coming up and saying, girl, you need bleach. You should soak your legs in bleach and your hands. No, put nail polish on because it suffocates them. I was nauseous. I had every home remedy you can imagine, Randy, to get rid of this stuff. That's terrible. Them chiggers are horrible. You want to rip the skin off.
You can't see them. They bite the pee out of you. You can't see them. They're little clear, invisible things that bite you in the sky.
I really never
Bella,
did.
I'm going to go. I got to go to bed. It's past 3 in the morning, guys.
Oh, it's
Martin,
only 2 in the afternoon here.
Yeah, I'm 3:42 a.m. I got to lay down.
Oh.
You have after this podcast, Randy, right?
Like 100 times. I enjoy listening to you and talking with you. Martin.
Well, you know, I'm the real deal.
And we know you're the real deal. That's why I can sit here till like Wednesday and listen to you. So it's better I better go to bed.
I understand.
All right, Bella. All right, Martin. Thank you. I'm going to do a short and sweet goodbye. Everybody in the comments, Brenda, everyone, thank you for being around.
Okay.
Everybody have a great night. Good night, everybody.
Stay
Martin,
safe,
any
Randy.
last?
Everybody else, stay safe, and we'll speak soon.
Yes.
Okay,
safe.
thank you.
Wash
Any
your
last
hands.
words, Bella?
Wash your hands.
Oh, you should.
Just wash your hands. And from people.
Yeah, people used to tell me after you use the toilet and take a pee, wash your hands. Well, if my prick is that dirty, I need to wash it too. Anyway, I pee on my hands. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Stay